he was here. Oh, wait, he is.
Gotta milk that teat. Gotta milk that teat.
But is it a good move? We'll discuss that. Got some news about, I guess, Scream going to do pretty good this weekend. Dark Knight star, Christian Bale. He confirms that he's in Heat 2. Those are some of the stories that we'll get to today. But I put a post up on Community, and I hope that for anybody who's in the chat right now, should go on over to the Community tab, and I'm going to do kind of like a mailbag question thing for the first hour. And then obviously, if you want to throw your questions in there for the second hour, we're going to read them out. But it'll be like a Q&A mailbag type show today. And the same thing goes for yesterday's show. Well, let's get to the intro first. I'll hit the stupid thing, and then we'll get into it. Should I?
Please, please. Please.
All right, I'll do it. Howdy, everybody. Nice to see you on this Wednesday. I'm doing the solo show again. You know, I got a good announcement that I can make right up top about the Wednesday show. Starting in March, I'm going to be, I think, twice a month at least, if not more, at least two. Kevin Smets will be joining me on the Wednesday show. For those Schmoedown players, you know, he's some would say the greatest Intergeekdom player of all time. Mike Kalinowski and him are always up for that's always the conversation. Heated rivalry, not that way, but they had a heated rivalry in Schmoedown, and I'm sure somebody's making that poster now in the Discord. So heard myself say it, saw some people making it in my head. Anyway, Kevin Smets will be joining the show. Not Smets. That'd be Kevin Smith. I'll tell you though what I've done. And I tell Kevin Smets every time I call him and tell him this. I say, listen, I gotta be very careful because I voice text a lot. So I'll go text Kevin Smets. One time it called Kevin Smith, and I said, let's not do that again. So I don't do that anymore. But Kevin Smets will indeed be joining the show. That will be a nice, and I'm excited to have him. He and I are really good friends. We've been friends for a long time. We'll talk some news, and we'll talk about other stuff, life stuff, and things, and we'll take questions from you guys. So I'll be good. And so someone asked, I'll bring this up, but I'm going to highlight this right now. But I'm going to also people should, if you want to ask something before the ordinary question part that we do, the super chats in the second half. Put it at the community post, and I'll get to them in a second, but I will address this. I have a question. When are you going to be posting a leasing the next episode of Demon Slayer? Are you going to continue to watch it? Okay, so I'll give you an update right now. Done. Never again on this channel, and I'll tell you why. We were doing it for patrons. We were doing it for members. I was going to do a whole supercut, and then the people who make that show, the people who make Demon Slayer, decided they wanted to put a copyright and block my videos and then potentially give me a strike. And I was like, I'm good. Don't need to do it. I can't risk it. And I really like the show, but I'm not risking it. So unfortunately, we have to stop doing it because they're going to start striking and trying to, go after the channel. And even when you do the appeal of saying, no, I did these things the right way, and the way you do with any other studio, they said, nope. So done. Not covering it anymore. So I apologize for that. Would love to have done. We were actually we did all of season 3. We're going to do a big supercut and release the whole thing to everybody. But then I was like, no, can't risk that. I don't know why. And all we did was say really positive things about it. Really enjoyed it. And they decided to come after the channel. So I was like, nope, not doing it. Not worth it. So really enjoyed the show. Had nothing that's bad about the creative of the show, but the fact that they did that, I was like, I'm good. No message heard. I will not cover your show anymore. Understood. So that's it. Unfortunately, I've seen people asking me about the Demon Slayer stuff, and that's kind of where it's going. So sorry. Anyway, we'll cover a couple topics today because one of the things I will be covering, and I told you guys on the show the other day, I got the screeners for One Piece season 2, and I'm actually going to be watching that today. I have a full day today. Now, I was supposed to do Scream tonight. But a lot of different reasons are going to force me out of that screening tonight, and I'll tell you why. The first is the weather sucks here bad. The trains are all messed up. Probably could get in there and see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I think my wife hasn't seen. She definitely should have definitely seen this one. I haven't seen this one. We'll probably do a first time watch together on this when it comes out. And another reason, the first reason you guys are like, oh man, that stinks. The second reason I think you understand. We also have the Penny Barber interview scheduled for today, and it's going to land right around the time that I would need to leave to get to the screening. So that is the same thing I'm going to tell you guys that I told Roxy and Mike to let you guys know today. For the second half of the show, which is the super chat portion, right now, Roxy and Mike did great yesterday at 106. So if you guys put the questions in there and you want to submit questions for the Penny Barber interview that we're doing today, you can do that. I just want to forewarn everybody, let everybody know, just because you put a question in today for Penny, it doesn't mean that we're going to get to it. A lot of people submitted questions yesterday. A lot of people might submit it today. It's a gamble. So I'm going to say it's not a guarantee that you're going to get the question on there, but that's how we're going to submit them. Because if there's 40 questions and the interview is going really well, also, and we don't get a chance to ask them, I don't want to promise people anything. So if you want to throw in some questions that potentially could get read to Penny today, the super chat portion will be the portion to do it. But again, just giving you that forewarning. Understood. If you're like, I don't want to do that, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee I'm going to get my question in there. I get it. I have also been posting a lot more on social, in my Instagram account. If you haven't followed that, I've been doing some food reviews. It's been fun. I've been taking some of the clips that Smetsy's actually helping me with too, by the way, on that. And so we're doing some clips from the show. If there's, and this is something too that you guys, I'll actually ask you, especially like the Ed Harrells and the Discord. Really should add Smets to the Discord as well. If you guys have ideas, like from the live show that we do, if there's comedic moments that you're like, oh, that was great, they should absolutely post that on social. They should put that on the Instagram accounts. They should put that on TikTok. They should put that on the YouTube shorts. Please, you guys, you're the audience. You're the ones that say, well, that was good, that was stupid. And then if there's past things that you think should be clipped out, I know we're gonna do Mike shits the bed for sure, or not Mike's dog shits the bed. We're gonna do that as well, and make sure that you clip that out for sure, or let us know what we should clip out for sure. Yeah, man. Let's get into some topics, and then we'll get, like I said, if there are questions that you want to ask me now before we get to the super chat questions, go to the community post. We're doing this as like a mailbag type thing, but I want to get to just a few of these topics. Let's do it. Let's start with this one. As I mentioned, One Piece. I'm really looking forward to One Piece season 2. I loved One Piece season 1. It was one of those happy surprises. Never thought it would be for me. I was wrong. I was really wrong. I loved this show so much. And Netflix has announced that the first 2 episodes of the upcoming second season is very well received. Let me read that again. Netflix has announced that the first 2 episodes of the upcoming second season of its very well received live action adaptation of the anime One Piece will sail into cinemas. Theatrical screenings will take place in the U.S., Canada, and Japan, with the North American showing starting at 6 p.m. local time on March 10th. The same day, all 8 episodes hit the streamer. Tickets go on sale on the 26th at 8 p.m. All the theaters are participating. Marks the second streaming series that they've moved to their theaters. Stranger Things did it, which made more than $25 million from more than 1 million ticket vouchers sold. Not a big cultural event, the first season of One Piece proved a big hit for the streamer, becoming the most watched season of the series during the second half of 2023, with 541.9 million hours watched in its first 4 hours. Success led to a quick renewal for not just second, but a third season, and the latter is in production in South Africa. Okay. So like I said, I'll definitely be doing reactions of this. Absolutely, 100%. And I'm looking forward to starting it today. I'll have those. So my goal would be that I could put one out a day, 8 days in a row, because Netflix doesn't do the week to week in the way that I was able to do for House of the Dragon. I did it I recorded it a month and a half, 2 months ago, whatever it was, and then just released them all week to week, scheduled them all. But you can't do that for One Piece. Got to go 8 days in a row. Otherwise, it's lost. It's no longer a water cooler conversation. However, the conversation of putting in the theaters, this is a move that Netflix is making. As I said, I know that people have that thing about billionaires and executives that they just right away, you're the enemy. And I get it. I understand. But I applaud good business making, good decisions, good leaders. Ted Sarandos is that leader. Ted Sarandos is a smart dude. I think that besides them looking and saying, well, let's test something. Let's go Stranger Things. What were our ratings for Stranger Things? Pretty good. Do you think that would translate? Do you think that would give us a little extra kashish if we put it in the theater? Let's give it a shot. Let's put the finale out there. They did. $25 million. That's most. That makes most than a lot of these movies that come out opening weekend. And most studios would pray for a $25 million opening, depending on how the budget was. Now, granted, Stranger Things had a massive budget, but it wasn't the intent to do a full-on huge theatrical release. It was like, all right, let's make some extra cash. And that's the same thing they're doing here with One Piece. And they're hoping, oh, look, put a little money into the marketing of it. Let's get those diehards in there. This is a show that should be seen on a big screen. 100%. Would absolutely love that. Would absolutely love to see it in a big screen. I'm not going to be able to, but I would love to. I think it's tailor-made for the big screen. So this is smart. And I think the other thing that they're doing, Netflix, is now that they're also doing a little more tests because this impending Warner Brothers thing is happening. I don't give a shit what Paramount's trying to do. They ain't getting it. I mean, I was pretty adamant that I didn't think that Netflix was serious about it. So what the hell do I know? But I'm just saying, doesn't seem like Paramount. It just seems like Paramount's grasping at straws here. So we'll see what happens overall. What do you guys make of it? You think it's a good plan, bad plan? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. And meatballs last night. Yeah. And meatballs. My wife said, listen, I'm making sauce tonight. I said, I'm going to get home early. So I was leaving a little early. She goes, can you stop at the store? I said, great. We'll eat together. I'll have everything. She can get some of the Italian bread, get some salad, and get some other stuff. I said, great. So I did. And remember, the snow sucks here. So they had to waiting for trains, doing all this other shit. So I'm like, I'm at the store. And she's like, well, the kids have eaten already. I was like, what the hell? We're going to eat together. So I left early. She's like, yeah, they had to eat. I was like, all right, I'll at least wait for me. Get home. She's eating the whole freaking thing. She said, I don't eat bread. I said, what the fuck did you send me to the store for? Well, we need it eventually. Well, let's get it eventually. Sitting there in the by myself, my lonesome. I can't complain. Eating a really, really good bowl of spaghetti with meatballs. But the whole point of this story is that it's Butcher Box. Butcher Box is the best. I say this each and every time. If you haven't tried Butcher Box, you should. I'm hoping that PLD changed the link in the bottom here. If not, hopefully Luke did, because they wrote back today. I know that we're having a problem with the link. It's got to be no caps, all lower for a Butcher Box. But let me tell you about Butcher Box, and we'll hopefully change that while we're doing this. I'm excited because I'm talking about Butcher Box. So if 2026 is your year that feels stronger, eat smarter, or simply just simplify the dinner routine, Butcher Box delivers the good stuff, high-quality proteins, no antibiotics, no added hormones, no mystery labels, just the kind of clean fuel that supports actual results. I don't know who gets more excited when Butcher Box shows up to my house, myself or my wife. We love it. It's the absolute best. For over a decade, Butcher Box has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, independently verified. It's the clean, trustworthy protein you want to be eating, especially at the start of a new year. I'm always choosing the chicken and the beef, and man, their steaks are phenomenal when it is not as cold as it is right now. I'm throwing it out on the grill outside, and that's coming up real soon. But even to just cook some of these steaks inside, they're so tender. I love it. I've been making some beef bowls. I've been making a lot of chicken dishes, and as I said, I just get excited every time I see a box. It's like Christmas. So an exclusive offer for you guys. New listeners can get their choice between organic ground beef, chicken breast, or ground turkey in every box for a year. Plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/Christian. That's right. That's your choice of organic ground beef, chicken breast, or ground turkey in every box for an entire year, plus $20 off your first box and free shipping always. That is butcherbox.com/Christian. Don't forget to use our link so they know that we sent you. You will thank me. I'm telling you, ButcherBox, it's the best. Really is the best. Thank you to Luke for this is why I don't type while I'm trying to talk at the same time. I asked Luke because Luke fixed the link in the in for this show today, so you guys could access ButcherBox. We got to fix it for the other ones. So I was going to write him, "Can you fix the other shows?" Not what I wrote. Can you fucks the other shows with it with FUX? Can you fucks the other shows? Don't worry, Luke will not be fuxing the other shows. He's going to be fixing the link inside of the shows. Anyway, so as I mentioned to you, you should the link's in the description there for ButcherBox. You really should try it. It'll save you so much money and good content on much better meats than most stores. So make sure you go and check it out. You will thank me, I promise you. And I want to keep them on the show. I would love to have them on the show. I would love to get them as a sponsor on my show when we make it. It'd be great. So in order to do that, you guys got to get yourself some ButcherBox. Anyway. Okay. As I mentioned, one piece is something I'm really looking forward to. Another thing I'm really looking forward to is Heat 2. Heat is one of my favorite movies of all time. Recently watched it again. So bummed. My wife, again, was trying to get my wife to watch that movie forever. She's like, that's not a movie I would like. I'm like, you're wrong. You'd like that movie a lot. You tried to get me to watch it once. I said, no, I didn't. She said, yes, you did. I said, no, I didn't. I won't like it. I said, yes, you will. We should do a reaction to it. No. So last year, well, sometime, I don't know, it was like maybe 6-7 months ago. I can't remember. I did the same thing I do to my little one. I just started watching it. And not that my little one watched Heat, but other movies I wanted to watch. I just start watching it because she just wants to watch TV. She'll sit down and watch it. And that's kind of what I did with my wife with Heat. I started watching it, and she sat down. She's like, well, what is this? I said, this is Heat. And she said, well, why'd you start without me? I said, what are we doing here? You want to watch the movie? She said, yeah, let's watch it. So we watched it, and she loved it. I wish we would have done a reaction to it. We didn't. Update. Apparently, there's 175 members on the Discord. 25 people? Are there 25 people in here right now who haven't joined the Discord? Come on, man. Links in the description there. It's good conversation. Great conversation. I'm going to need the Discord, man, when it comes to the show. Once we start the campaign for the show, Discord's going to be a big topic of conversation about what's going on over there. The people who have joined the campaign can be discussing what they're seeing in there. I mean, Discord's going to be a good place for the community. It already is. So join. Got one so far already. We'll do a live update today. Post the link in the description for the Discord. Somebody. But let's talk about Heat. Don't say leave it alone. Yeah, don't say leave it alone. They're not remaking it. And Michael Mann wrote the story based off a book that everyone liked. Why do people just do that? It's because it's like cool to do it. No sequels, no remakes. It's cool. There are good sequels. There are good remakes. There are good ones. Yes, they abuse it like anything else. When Star Wars hit, they made a bunch of shit piece science fiction fantasy movies that were terrible. That's what Hollywood does. Oh, it's popular. Let's keep doing it. 100%. That doesn't mean don't do other stuff. Yes, the first one's a classic. But if Michael Mann's got a story, give it a shot. I just think it's that mentality of like, leave it alone. Why? What if it's good? It was Mike's mentality with Indiana Jones, and most people would say he was right. And the version that they did, maybe he was. But it does in the same way that I talk about in Terminator. People are like, let the franchise go. There's a story somewhere. But you just got to get the right people to do it. All right, let's talk about Heat 2. because I'm pumped about it. I'm excited for it. Christian Bale, I think Jeff Snyder broke this. I think he did. I don't remember. I think he did. Well, Christian Bale has confirmed that he is in Heat alongside Leonardo DiCaprio. What a crew. He didn't reveal which character he's going to play. Christian Bale has confirmed that he's going to star in the Heat sequel. Don't let yourself get attached to anything you're not willing to walk out in 30 seconds flat. Feel the heat around the corner. One of the best lines ever. Last year, we got word that a sequel to Heat starring Pacino, De Niro was officially moving forward after finding a new home at UA following Warner Brothers' agreement to allow Mann to shop the project around. Several major actors were said to be in the mix. Trades reported that Christian Bale was set to reunite with Mann for the sequel. Now, Bale has confirmed that he will star in the movie. He won't reveal which character he's going to play. DiCaprio, who has been attached to the film for some time, is still set to play one of the leads, and the likes of Austin Butler, Adam Driver, Bradley Cooper are also said to be in circling roles, although the trade reports clarified that no offers have been made to that talent. Chris Sherliss, who was played by the late Val Kilmer in the original movie, was believed to be the character DiCaprio has been cast in, but we have heard that this was the role Bale was circling. Really? I think DiCaprio looks more like Val Kilmer, which could indicate that One Battle After Another star will actually play sadistic villain Otis Wardell. If he signs on, Driver is expected to play the younger Neil McCauley. It seems nothing is going to be simple when it comes to cast news for Heat 2. Here is an excerpt from a recent newsletter from Snyder, who's been keeping tabs on the project for quite some time. Today, as soon as Deadline story broke, one of my best sources told me that DiCaprio's fellow 51-year-old Bale is actually going to be playing older Chris, and I tweeted what that source told me within 5 minutes of the breaking news. However, hours later, when I had a chance to ask a second source about it, they said that he'd heard that DiCaprio was still going to play older Chris and that Bale was going to play Otis Wardell, the psychotic rapist who plays a key role in the book. I went back to my original source, and they said when they first heard that Bale was being eyed to play older Chris, it would have meant losing Adam Driver as Master Thief Neil McCauley. The role originated by De Niro. The source then wagered it was possible that in order to avoid losing Driver, Mann compromised by moving Bale to the Wardell role. However, as far as the source knew, Bale is being eyed for older Chris, and DiCaprio is rumored to be considered the role of Vincent Hanna, the Dodge detective. So nobody knows, basically. Nobody knows. It could be anybody. And I kind of like the idea that we don't really know. I kind of like the idea that we don't know. Everybody in general that is circling this movie or potentially could be in this movie. This is amazing. From the only thing is, and I very much, I like Adam Driver. I do. I don't see him as Neil McCauley. Too tall. McCauley, De Niro's like what, 5'9", 5'10"? He's like a foot taller. I mean, I guess it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but I don't even really care. But I don't know. I don't see it. But what the hell? I didn't see the movie yet. Could be great. I like being wrong about things. I love being wrong about movies. Having an idea of something's going to stink and that's great. I don't like when I think something's going to be great and stinks. But I'm looking forward to this. No, but it's different. Someone said, does height really matter? Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. That was the introduction of the character in live action. This is not the introduction of the character in live action. Character is already established. So it's the same timeline. It's not a remake. It's the same timeline and it's the same thing. So yes, it matters when it's the same timeline. It's the same. I got to believe that it's the same guy. So the Hugh Jackman Wolverine thing doesn't add up here because that's comic book adaptation to then live action. So I don't that one doesn't work. Is Leo's 2 inches taller, right? That's okay. That works. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just excited about this movie. I love that this movie's being made. I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with it, especially if it's based off source material with the book itself. So yeah. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring up, where the hell is it? I had it. Now it's gone. I'm going to bring up the questions. I asked you guys, if you want to submit questions to the community post that I posted today, then please do that. Right now, we'll ask some of those questions. And when we run out of those questions, we'll go to the super chats. Again, if you want to submit anything for a penny, which we're going to do that interview today, then make sure you do that. And like I said, there's no guarantee it'll be asked, but just to give people an idea what we're doing. All right, let's get to these questions. I'm going to bring up these questions. It's more like a Q&A mailbag, and I'll keep refreshing it so people want to do it before we run into the hour. I'm going to kind of do it the same way that I do super chats. If you guys, you go to the community post, you put your questions in there. I will read all of them, answer all of them, and then when we get to an hour, if we haven't run out of them, then I'll go and go to the super chats until we run out of those. 8 so far, so it doesn't seem like we're gonna have a long show today, which is fine. Gives me more time to prep for the interview. So let me do this. I'm looking forward to having Smets on the show because for some reason when I'm by myself, might as well be. I'm sitting there. It's like, I love the normal people that are coming in here, but guys, start rattling the cage. Where the fuck does everybody go on Wednesday? Just because I don't do shows, or they don't want to see me just blabbering? Should probably understand that too. Okay, where is it? Let's bring it up. And the questions. Bring those up. First one. We'll bring up the new ones. There it is. There we go. Okay. New questions. We got 14 so far. So yeah, we're not going to be here very long. Sean McCabe, the great Sean McCabe. Do you think that we'll have to use skis to get up to Fifth Avenue for the St. Patrick's Day parade? No, I don't, man. I think we're going to start running out of this stuff. Because today, for people who weren't familiar with it, this morning, woke up, it was freaking snowing pretty hard again. And I'm like, oh, come on. Just got past this shit. But it's like almost 50 degrees here today. So it's mushing pretty quick. Unlike a month ago when it was like 6 degrees and it was just freezing. It's starting to mush. So I think we're gonna be okay. I think next week we're getting close to 60 degrees next week, which is great. So no, I think this frozen tundra shit is gonna go away. So yeah. All right, let's see. Let's get to the next one. Thank you, Sean, as always, my friend. Why does it do that? Oh, I hope it doesn't do that every single time. Please, no. Okay. Kristian Unpronounceable. Just wondering what nationality or background is, considering the spelling of your name. Well, thank you for asking. It's kind of a mix. The heaviest are Italian and German. Those are the last name is German. Means wolf, which I love. So I think it's, what the hell is it? Not, let's see, meaning. I know it's wolf, but it's a North German origin, acting as a assimilated form of ancient Germanic personal name of Harloff. Brave wolf. I'll take it. Brave wolf. Yeah. Great meaning for the last name. So my grandfather was born right out of right near Salerno. So, and there's a little Irish in there. There's Lithuanian and stuff too, but heavily on Italian and German. But Brave Wolf, I'll take Brave Wolf all day long. How about that? I'm not making it up too. So if you type in meaning of Harloff, Google will show you. So I'm not making that shit up. Not just because I'm watching Game of Thrones. How about that? All right, let's get to another one. Okay, again, I'm going to refresh this so you guys. This is the mailbag portion, and everybody here, even we got like almost 300 people in here. It should be 300 questions that you can go to and just submit. Bo, what was the biggest challenge for you going from 1 to 2 kids? A great question. Oh, is that what happened? Wait. Okay. 1 to 2 kids. Well, my kids are about almost 6 years apart. So the biggest challenge for us was that we were finally getting into that stage of like, oh, all right, she's like 5 years old, and she's kind of she's obviously still dependent on us, but not as we can rest a little bit more and everything too. And then the second kid hits, it's like right back into it again. And also we little older when we had the second kid. So look, God bless Riley. Riley is my age, and Riley just has like a 1.5-year-old. God bless him. God bless him. Adorable kid, by the way. But it's a lot. it's a balance, it's like because what you used to be able to do is like even when it comes to, hey, Vivi, you're bored, here's your coloring book, and then great, color, you play a game, do a puzzle, and then I'm chilling for a second. Now it's, hey, do this, do that, and then the other one, ooh, boom, you get hit, but all worth it, all worth it. So that's one of the biggest challenges, I think, and making sure you got, and because you go into those stages of like, you got to go back to that, because once we get out of that stage of the chasing them around shit, and then you go back into that again, it's a lot. Like my wife and I were the other day, we're like, no more, that's it, no way. Okay, let's go to the next one, and here it is. What does Disney need to do to make Star Wars exciting again? Look, this is the thing. uh, You know, I realize now, and I've seen tons of videos on this too. It's like people like think, oh, I have a Q-tip. Where the hell did a Q-tip come from? Um, People don't let you. I mean, you can't even criticize anything in a respectful way without being lumped into haterville or whatever it is, too, right? So, a perfect example is I posted a short about the thing I said in last Wednesday's show about the Mandalorian Grogu. I said people aren't as excited about this. The people who are excited about it, the people who are excited like for the show fans are excited about it. People who really want to see Grogu, but it doesn't have that same kind of feel like the Force Awakens and those other things happen. We're just not in that age of Star Wars right now. Oh, you're wrong. You're a hater. Why are you such a hater and pushing negativity? That has nothing to do with negativity. It's just looking around and going, oh, that's just kind of the vibe that's out there right now. If I said nobody wants to see this shit, Star Wars bullshit, that's negative. So I think that they're just in a place right now. Well, they were where they didn't necessarily have a plan. Maybe that's going to change. I think it's been the same. I think concern or maybe answer that I had 10 years ago. Have a plan. What's your plan? Don't just get the hired guns. Who's making the hit movies right now? What do they want to tell? Have the story and then bring in the hired guns to visualize the stories that you're coming up with. And that's the rumor that they're going to do. So it's got, and I think that's the other thing is it didn't feel like an event, this trailer, right? Star Wars, and I agree with Anthony Cheeseman, who says Star Wars would feel like an event when it came out. And it certainly doesn't feel that right now. And I don't think that that's gone. I think it's still possible. But you gotta have it. There's a way, in the same way we just talked about before. You can, if you put the right trailer out and you're like, wait a minute, is the magic back? Everybody wants to have that feeling again. Everybody wants to be sitting there and saying, wait, that feels like the magic is back. You just haven't had that. I mean, you kind of got it with the Obi-Wan trailer. I don't think that the show performed and gave you that magic back, but you kind of felt the magic a little bit. Oh, is the magic back? And the answer was it wasn't there, but you can bring the magic back. And I think that that's what Star Wars has the power to do. So have a plan, trust in the plan, and and I know that people don't agree with me in this, but listen in the same way that I do with you guys. You got to read the room and listen to the audience, not on everything. Not on everything. I know you listen to the audience all the time, you'll be spinning your head around. I don't disagree with that. But pay attention to what your core is talking about. And depending on who you think your core is. Doesn't mean that it's just the people who I just want to see original trilogy stuff. We're past that. Great. But what is the magic? What is the core? What do they want to see? What's the feel that they want to do? Like you got to experiment a little bit. And I am very clear about this and continue to be clear about this. I do think that Starfighter is very important for them, because if it doesn't do well, they got to revamp the entire thing. If it doesn't do well, they got to revamp the whole thing. If it does well, they stick to the plan that they're going forward with. So, it's funny because someone said Skeleton Crew was peak. Yeah, but the problem is no one watched it. I still haven't watched it. I tried. I was like, you know what? Someone said watch it with your little one, and then you'll be able to finally watch it. So I turned it on with her. She said I'm bored, and we never didn't finish watching. I think I've watched 2 episodes. Not that it wasn't good. It just wasn't for me. And I was like, I'm just not interested in this show. But people liked it. I'm glad that people liked it. People like Skeleton Crew. And I'm not talking shit about it. I just didn't. It just wasn't for me. But people really, most people who watch Skeleton Crew, enjoyed it. No, I'm not gonna watch it. But I tell you what, I did start watching. This is how I work, guys. I'm sitting down in my bedroom, and I'm like, okay, I have some time to kill by myself here. Um, I'm gonna watch. I started watching Peaky Blinders. Good show. Watched episode 1. And I was like, and I said, and don't worry, and I said the same thing. I said, I know this probably everybody in my crew hasn't seen it, and that we could do reactions to it. And people are gonna be like, well, why don't you do reactions to it? Because the one is like Mikey from the Goonies. Or not Mikey, Mouth. This one's mine. This one's for me. I wanted to watch it. Just wanted to watch it and just watch it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's going to be my show, like I did with Tulsa King season 2, which I still haven't watched 3. I dug it. I did watch. It's true. I watched the first episode of Pluribus, but I didn't finish that yet. Peaky Blinders is a little bit more my speed, I think. So, Peaky Blinders. That's what I said. Anyway, okay. Again, we got the questions, guys. Keep the questions on the community post. Let's do a mailbag here today. Show some class. That's better. Let's do it that way. That's much better. I like that. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right. What does Disney need to do that? Well, would you travel to Mars if it was a one-way trip? No. I don't know what the hell is even on Mars. I don't want to do that. No. They're like Arnold. Nah. Greg Zilla, who are your favorite YouTubers? It's funny. I watch a little bit more YouTube now because of my daughter than anything else. I'll tell you, I really like that Mark Robert. It's like today's Mr. Rogers. He's a good guy. And stuff like that. Because my daughter found it on Netflix, started watching it. I'm like, is this appropriate for him? Like, yeah, it is. And he's teaching her science. He makes it fun. I like that dude. And I saw a video on him. I think I talked about this a long time ago. He's got an autistic son. He did a video about it, and it was really moving. It was a really moving video. Really like that Mark Rober. And he's connected to a whole bunch of other people. So him watching those when those come up. What other? Jeremy Johns is still my guy. Big Jeremy Johns fan. Got reconnected with Jeremy not too long ago, and love talking to him. Just been catching up. So, but as far as like YouTube, I mean, I listen to like when I listen to like trance music, Armin van Buuren. That helps me think when I'm writing. It helps me like do stuff. So I'll watch what is it? The what the hell's the name of his show? That I watch all the damn time. I'll tell you right now. Where is it? I'm going to tell you. Someone's going to know, but I'll tell you in a second. It's State of Trance. That's the one that I watch. And I watch it often. So, what else? Who else? I'm trying to think who else I really watch. I was watching the Y-Files for a bit. Haven't watched them as much lately. I'll check out my buddies Pavel and Vetted on for UAP stuff. It's really it. Is that true? Oh, Josh Horowitz. Watch his interviews. Chris Van Vliet. I'll watch his interviews. It's probably it, right? I think so. So yeah, that's it. All right, great. Okay. Now wait a minute. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's do the next one. Again, good questions, guys. Good questions. King XLOS1. Do you think if Doomsday and Secret Wars is great, what other Marvel properties can you see Marvel greenlighting other than X-Men properties? Oh man. I think that, and I've talked about this for a bit, even when this is years ago on Capes. I think that they should stick in the X-Men universe. Do the big movies, then do spin-off movies, do Cyclops movie, do a freaking do the big event movies, but then spin them off and live in that world for a bit. And if maybe they try a Fantastic Four too, see if they can make that work. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I would say on that one. I think that I feel like X-Men really is the way that they should go. All right, next one after that. Okay. And we get oh yeah, I saw this the other day. What are your thoughts on Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2 on Netflix September 17th? It just shows right now the state of combat sports, I think, of meaning not quality of fighters. Be very clear on that. There are a lot of great fighters out there right now. There's no superstars right now, like major superstars, crossover superstars. I'm not saying that there aren't like really big MMA fighters that people get like the MMA fans are like jazzed when they fight. Of course, Aspinall, other people, of course. I'm talking about the crossover star like the Mayweathers, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Roy Jones Juniors, the Chuck Liddells, John Jones, things like that. There's not the Conor McGregor. There's nobody like right now that has that same kind of, oh shit, the new Tyson fight's coming up, right? I mean, I know it's a generational fighter. I get it. It doesn't always happen. But when they're running, look, people, with the fact that Jake Paul versus Joshua did better views than most big fights, it tells you something, right? And it's also the way that you say whatever you want about Jake Paul. He's a great marketer. Great marketer. A lot of these fights are big money grabs. That fight was a money grab. I'm very excited for the Carano and Rousey fight, but that's a money grab too. Like that's exactly what that was made for. It's not these two like we need to fight one another. This is like the big fight that everybody wants to see right now. No, it's nostalgia purposes, and they want some cash. And that's the same thing that this is. That's all this is with Pacquiao and Mayweather. It's like, I mean, how old are they? 87 years old fighting. It's like, we'll watch it. Is it? But here's the deal. And you guys will know the answer to this. Is it on Netflix? Is it on Netflix? I don't even know if it's on. Where is it? Yeah, like, because I don't know enough about the detail. Where is that fight gonna air? Because there's no world that I'm paying for that. There's no world I'm paying for that. So yeah, someone said Mayweather fighting Tyson. I heard that was happening too. It's so stupid. No one wants to see that. It's like when it's like, Thunderlips versus Rocky at that point. It was like that big. What's he gonna do against Tyson? That was stupid. So where is this thing being aired? Does anybody know? It's on Netflix. Okay, well, that's like if it's on Netflix, this is the way that this stuff is happening now. This is the way it's on Netflix. Great, yeah, that's the way this happens now. Big fights. I'm already paying for it now. This is why you subscribe and pay the extra money to Netflix. Like, okay, because now you probably would. If in the old days, paying like $70 for that fight, and that's why UFC moved to Paramount, and that's why the WWE is struggling now. The silliest move ever was yes, they're not doing pay-per-view, but the way that they up their prices and the way that and I know the other ones did too, but with ESPN, the way that you have to like bundle up and do it, that was the stupidest. Usually they make pretty good decisions. That was the stupidest thing. I used to watch all those PLEs. I watched them all. I haven't watched one since they made the deal. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I tried logging in. They wanted to charge me an extra. I'm like, I'm good. Forget it. I'll watch the clips on Twitter. Really dumb. I'm not even. It's the first WrestleMania that I haven't tuned into in a long time. It was the really, really bad idea by WWE, that ESPN thing. Really dumb. But Mayweather versus Pacquiao, okay, for a Netflix fight. Netflix it's like a new. They have, again, using the brilliance of what Sarandos is doing over there. This is now. It's not like another league, but it's their fights are getting more eyes on them because of what I just said. Oh, I'm subscribed already. I'll tune into it. Live event. Cool. That's why some of these like comedy specials do as well as they do too. I'm subscribed to it. They're making it. And what you said before about Star Wars, right? They make it seem like a big event. Like that when Chappelle did his big, or Chris Rock did his big special. It's like a big event. It's the first time he's talked about anything with the Will Smith stuff. It's a big event. It was a massive. Oh, I'm subscribed to it. Go check it out. So that's it. Anyway, all right. So let's keep going through these questions here, and then we'll get to your super chats. Okay. Mladen Kolik 446. Can you do a poll both in live and the community post for the housemaid reaction? Since you're not doing it with Sadie, ask the fans whether they still want to see the reaction, but with Steph. Time has passed. Time has passed. You got to catch these things on, I want to watch it with my wife eventually too. I'll probably watch it at home, like our movie. The time has passed. You got to catch it on those things in new release. Otherwise, it's a waste of money. Sticks 017. Can you tell us something about your show? Yeah, I mean, I told Roxy this yesterday when she was doing the show. I wrote her a text and said, I couldn't make it because I was doing other things for the show, we had a great conversation. Well, more than a conversation. We're on the next step to moving forward. The team that we have in place is excellent, and we're progressing with the campaign really, really well. I tread lightly on what I'm going to say and what I'm not allowed to say necessarily, but what the team kind of agreed on of what we want to make sure that you get really one shot of doing this and letting people know what it is that we are doing. And I want you guys to be excited. I feel like we're a lot closer today than we have been so far. So we're doing now weekly, 2 times a week, weekly conversations to move because it's real now. It's really real now. So we're getting close. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. All right. One Red Feather Studios. If you could revisit and watch one movie the first time again, what movie would you choose? I mean, it probably would be Empire Strikes Back, right? To experience it now. If I didn't know, because then I'd be able to see, I'd be able to feel that reaction again. So that'd probably be it. Zach Hawker, what YouTube content do you watch outside of movies, TV shows? I mean, I think I told everybody before. That's I listen to music a lot on YouTube stuff, and I'll go and like shorts and other things that pop up. I'll go down that rabbit hole. Connor Mullis, if you could have unlimited hot dogs, how many could you eat right now? When I was younger, I was like spicy mustard and relish, or spicy mustard, a little bit of sauerkraut. I could crush a bunch of those. I don't know how many I can eat right now though. Mason McFly, favorite and least favorite movie and TV show of the year so far. Oh man, that's not that. I can't answer that all the way, Mason, because right now I haven't really even seen a lot of stuff. My favorite movie that I've seen so far this year. I mean, what did I say? I don't know what the hell I've seen so far. What did I say? I saw Wuthering Heights. I saw I don't even know what I've seen. What the hell did I say? I saw 28 Years Later. What else did I see? I don't even know what I've seen. It's hard for me to say because it's still young in the year. So I don't have a great answer for that one, Mason. I'm sorry. My answer sucks for that one. I'll be honest with you. My answer sucks because I just don't have enough. I don't have enough to go off of right now. And it's 32 updated it. I got a lot more questions. All right, let's go back to it. More questions, you guys. Now you're firing in the questions. 14 for the super chats, but we're doing the. You guys are throwing these in. I see what you're doing. I get it. I understand. All right. Let's do some more. Cully Nut Burst Great name. Been reading One Piece for 20 plus years. Wow. Was not a fan of the live action adaptation. You're the first person I've heard that has said that of being a fan also. Interesting. Happy you liked it. Knowing where the series is going, I'm doubtful that the live action is going to go past the fourth season. Just budget needed to accomplish stuff ahead would be crazy. Well, I'm not happy to hear that. But I mean, you are the first person that I've heard. I mean, not to say that you're the only person, but you're the first person I've heard that it was a fan of the animated and reading it that's not a fan of this. Interesting. Resin is cool. Do you listen to music while you're working out or in general? Do you have a playlist? I'm sort of curious of music listening. I do. I listen to music for everything. For everything. So when it comes to let's see, when it comes to like writing, I told you I listen to Armin van Buuren. I listen to a lot of trance music, Lily Palmer, a lot of other trance music I listen to. It really helps me focus when I'm writing. And I'll listen to that sometimes when I'm working out, but like working out, I'll do like I have a playlist of different things that I've accumulated. I have a favorite hip hop playlist that I listen to, and I also I've been listening to classic WWE theme songs. It's be something about bicep curls listening to Kurt Angle's theme song. That'll get you hyped up. I did that today. So yeah. So that's some of the stuff that I in general. There's another trance DJ. I'll tell you. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'll bring her up. Good. I'll bring her up. What the hell is her name? It is Lucky Showa. Lucky Showa. Lukkashyowa. Listen to her a couple times too. For writing and stuff. So yeah. There you go. Okay. Now let's go back to some more. Good questions here today, guys. Paul Hitchcock asked Winston and Chris this on Friday, but curious on your thoughts. If we were to find out that Strange's spell from the end of Brand New Day crossed over into the multiverse and affected Peter 2 and Peter 3, making them forgot as well. Oh, did it? It's a great question, right? But I think that it was specific to that universe, but that's a great question. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, you could get away with that. You could get away with that if you did that, if that was the reason, because it's Peter in general. Great. Because I don't know if they clarified that it was there, but you could get away with it. Galaxy Geeks was reacting to Captain America last night. Do you think a Captain America Howling Commandos series set in World War II would be successful? There's a lot of history they could cover. The answer to that is it just depends on who's Captain America. Where's our Captain America after the events of Secret Wars? So it's hard to say if it would be successful now. Are they doing an animated show? Maybe. I don't know. Big 2495, that Godzilla show coming out soon, so you should catch up on the rest of season 1. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Yeah, great show. It's another one that I liked. Just didn't something for me is I gotta really be like, oh, I can't miss this. I feel like that right now with Peaky Blinders. Like I want to get back to it. I'm like invested in it. True Squadron Official. What's your favorite battle in Star Wars? Favorite battle or lightsaber battle? Favorite lightsaber battle is Luke versus Darth Vader in Empire. Favorite, and before anybody gives me shit on that, it's like it's the most emotional and has the most weight to it. Not just technical Yoda flipping around and Darth Maul and Obi-Wan. 1, 2, 3, spin, go, spin, spin, spin. Yes, spin, up, spin, spin. It's very choreographed. But as far as your favorite battle in Star Wars, probably, it's a good question. Maybe again, Hoth. Hoth's a good one too. The Death Star 2 space battle is pretty good too. That is pretty good too. Maybe that one. Both really good. A lot of good ones. Okay. Advice for someone turning 24, says Christopher. Right. Enjoy it. And first of all, I love when people are 24 and you feel like, oh my God, I'm 24, I'm getting old. No, you're not. Not even close to old. I mean, 30 years old, you're not old. 35, you're not old. Like, oh my God, it feels like, no, you're not. You're 24 years old, you enjoy yourself. I don't know where you are, but enjoy it. Enjoy every moment. Don't, you know, feel like you have to accomplish everything in one day. Just enjoy your moments and, and make the most of them. That's the thing too. Just make the most of them. Mads 2 614. If Masters of the Universe takes off down the road, who would you cast as She-Ra? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to someone that can match up that looks like they're related to Nicholas. I hope it does take off. I really do. I hope it takes off, and I hope they change some things up. I don't know. AP Studios ROC, advice you'd give to someone who is close to being able to make their passion a career, and also in your option for a solo business owner, is it better to use a business name or build your own name as a brand for social media platforms? Cheers. That's a fantastic question. So let's start with the first part there, right? Close to make it like if is it better to use a business name or build your name as a brand? First of all, congratulations to you putting your passion in and doing your own thing. But it depends because I've done a few of those, obviously with Schmoes No, and then Schmodown Entertainment. And then for me, it was because I had a lot of different advice where even when we did Big Thing, like that was advice given to me that I think at the time was good advice. Of like do a show called The Big Thing. And I said, well, I don't know. I think because, and this is something people I saw yesterday, somebody asked about Collider. And you always had to do the what ifs. If you were going to change things, what would you do differently? If it was me, I would have never done Collider Live. I would have stuck with the one-on-one with Kristian Harloff. After seeing the way that things have gone now with interviews and other things too, that show was that I jumped off that show. Myself and Collider jumped off that show too early, because again, when shows were doing 40,000, 50,000 views at that time, you're like, oh, maybe it's not doing as well. And knowing what clips and those other things do, I was worried about, well, if a show goes really well and I leave Collider, then they own my name. They didn't really own my name. They just would own one-on-one with Kristian Harloff. I could always build that out. So I should have stuck with that show. I should have never done Collider Live ever. Collider Live should have never been a thing. But that show should have stuck. And then that's eventually what I did down the line here with this, like, it depends on what your thing is also. It's like if you can make it your own, then you absolutely should use your own name. But it depends on your circumstance. So that's it. Did we get the name from the Joe Schmo show? No. Nope. So funny enough, that name, the Schmoes No, came from Mark and I did a show at Current TV for a while because of my writing partner now, Martini Paratori, who I've brought up many times. And her and I had been friends for a bit. I helped her with stand-up stuff and other things. And she was working there and said, hey, we're doing this thing where this is again 2007. And she said, we're doing this thing where with the flip cams and we want comedians to submit themselves watching pilots and commenting. And she's like, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Why not? And she's like, do you want to bring anybody in like from the comedy store? And I was like, sure. So Ellis and I just started getting close because he was on my he was in my pilot. And so I asked him if you want to do it. He's like, sure. And we recorded ourselves separately. And then eventually we started doing it on the camera, doing the reviews together. And then we were going to just call it the Harloff and Ellis show. And then when we moved it to YouTube, I was talking to Martini about it. And she's like, well, you guys are just like average schmoes. And I was like, yeah, what? And then she said, you guys talk about movies. I go, and I think it came to Schmoes No. I got Schmoes No movies. 2 schmoes and no. Schmoes No movies. Ellis hated it. He hated it. And that was it. So that was it. Anyway. Yeah. So that's how that name came about. Okay. Let's see. Next one. A lot of good questions here, guys. A lot of good questions today. I like this portion of it. RQM, DSMD, were there any local New York, New Jersey comedians that inspired you or helped you when you first started out doing comedy? So I didn't really start in New York. I came back, I started at Florida State. So the way that happened, and I think I've told this story before. I don't know if I did. There was a guy named Mike Shader, a really nice guy. And he had started a comedy group in Tallahassee, and he was looking for new comedians, and I always wanted to do it. I watched comedy with my dad. It was always like a thing that I always wanted to try. And I called him, and he's like, "Hey, can you submit a tape?" And I remember saying to myself, "I don't know, tape? I've done this before." So I just never wrote back. I never called him back, never did anything. So he called, to his credit, he called me like, it was like a month later. And he's like, "You never sent me your tape." I don't have a tape. I don't have a tape. I've never done this before. And he's like, "Well, why don't we just meet for lunch?" So I met him for lunch, and he gave me a shot. And him and there were quite a few. It was Claude Shire, I think, was one of the guys' names, and William Mayer, and oh shit, Adam, what was his last name? I can't remember. But there was a little group that we had, and they made me feel comfortable. They made me feel comfortable, and they were like, they were encouraging, and they weren't like, they were just kind of start. They were doing it for a couple of years, maybe a year or two, I don't know, and made me feel comfortable. And so I was doing it there, and I felt, and I started kind of building up. I remember I had one place, and the thing is too, what I didn't realize when I was doing Tallahassee, like Mike gave me 20 minutes when I was, I don't know, I was maybe doing stand-up comedy for 3 months. I did 20 minutes. And at the time, I had no idea how much time that is to do when you're starting out. You're lucky if you can get 3 minutes at most places. And I didn't realize that until much later. And when I was already kind of established and doing things, and I remember being on the LA scene and people were struggling and fighting at 3 minutes, I go, "Oh my God, boy, did I take that for granted." And you guys, most of you know the story about me and Bert Kreischer. And I was already doing stand up by the time he did his first one. I gave him advice around and I watched him do his first thing, and you just watched all these things kind of happen, which is interesting. But that's where I started. And then when I would go home for the summers, there was Boston Comedy Club, which was run by Barry Katz. I started doing the show there. So Jeff Ross, remember young Jeff Ross going up. But there was a guy, what's his name? Shit, DJ. He gave me some advice, but nobody. I mean, it was the group there. But my big mentor in LA was a guy named Paul D'Angelo. Paul D'Angelo was a very seasoned Boston comic, and he was great. He was a great comic, and he still is a great comic. But he was in LA, and he was doing he's older than me. I think he was like 15, 20 years older than me. No, I don't know if that older, but maybe like 10 or 15 years older than me. Anyway, he was really kind to me, because when I started in LA, I was like, I mean, I had like a wrestling persona. I would my comedy, I was 150 miles an hour when I was on stage, and I have talked about him before, where he's like, if you start at 100 miles an hour, there's nowhere to go. You got to start at 10 and get to 100 miles an hour. That always stuck with me. And I was able to, and because of that, I started, it was funny because I was going up a lot in LA right around the time when I was working at California Pizza Kitchen with Riley and Brett Sheridan. And then I got the job working at WWE. And I remember after I stopped working there, I came back and I hit the circuit so much harder. And I'll say another guy that was instrumental in my comedy career was Brett Ernst. Brett was and still is a friend of mine, and he was a regular at the Comedy Store, and he called me and was like, "Hey, listen, we get a recommendation for," and I seen you been going up a lot, and I watched your last set. You're doing really good. He's like, "I'll recommend you. Just don't embarrass me." Like, fucking, meaning, show up, do your shit. If they give you a spot, do it. And, that's all I could ask you to do. And I did. And I've told this story a million times over, but like at the time when you were showcasing, I was lucky enough that I got to showcase in front of Mitzi, the late great Mitzi Shore. Mitzi she was still ailing in health at that point, but she would come in when she could, but they were showcasing. What that means is, like, comedians would go up, they'd get a certain amount of time, whether it was 3, 6, or 10 minutes, depending on where you were and where they progressed you or thought you were ready for. And you would do those spots, and it's okay, you get 3, 6, you get 10. And they would say, okay, you'll have Sunday and Monday and Tuesday for these showcases. I don't think they even do anything close to that now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was like, that's crazy. I can go up to the Comedy Store every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night. I get to perform at the Comedy Store, and I was getting the 6. I got progressed pretty quick. I went 6, and then I was doing the 10-minute spot. So I get to do 10 minutes at the Comedy Store, and I started showcasing in August. And Mitzi wasn't coming in. She did one time, and then I like him. He's good. I'm gonna come back and do 10 minutes, and it was great. And I remember this one guy, and there's like, we're leaving, we're getting out of here. I'm like, what do you mean? Why? He's like, she's not coming tonight. I go, what are you talking about? Like, this whole crew that I was showcasing with, they weren't coming into the club because Mitzi wasn't going to be there. I'm like, you get to work out at the Comedy Store every day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days in a row. And then you can do spots wherever the fuck you want to do spots. And you're not taking it because she's not here. What are you talking about? And I remember November, I think I was the only one out of that class to get passed. And I remember Ari Shafir and I were talking afterwards. Like, you got passed, right? I was like, I hope it's because I was good. He's like, yeah. He goes, you got passed because you hang out. Comics know you. You want to be part of it. You can tell. And that to me meant everything. Like, my class was Ari Shafir, Steve Renazzisi, Steve Simone, Rick Ingram. Sebastian had just gotten passed about maybe a year beforehand. John Caparulo had just gotten passed not too long ago. So that's a bunch. I'm trying to think. There's tons of people side of there, but anyway, thanks for letting me reminisce. Okay, let's see. Next one after that. Where is it? R.L. Jensen. Any chance to get Riley on the show just to catch up? Good luck with the Penny interview. Thank you on the interview. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just having a conversation with her and seeing, like, I'm very curious about the whole journey and everything there too. Who's this now? Oh, I can't deal with that right now. Riley is in Babyland, man. Very hard for him to do anything right now, and I understand. Michael D. 81. If you and the family were ever to travel overseas for a holiday, where do you think you'd go? Probably Italy or Scotland. We've talked about it, obviously. Scott B. 236. Do you know why some companies are more chill when it comes to reaction videos than others? I don't. Look, it comes, especially with trailers and other things too. I don't really know what it is, and I think a lot of it is algorithm stuff too, for what they pump into the algorithm of what you can post, what you can't post, all that kind of shit. But when it comes to anime stuff, I've heard nightmare stuff, and I can attest. It's true. I'll never do anime ever again, unfortunately. I like it very much, and I think it's good, but I'll never react to it or put anything close to anime on my channel ever again. Like, I couldn't believe what they were doing. Okay. Ronaldo Leon, how do you feel about podcast shows venturing into Netflix and leaving YouTube? Something to look out with content creators? No. Opportunities are opportunities, and audience is audience. So I'm leaving YouTube. I mean, look, you got to understand, especially for me, YouTube wasn't a thing that people put podcasts on when we started. When we started, we had our podcast, we started in 2011, the Schmoes Know podcast. And we had to put just the audio because we couldn't figure out a way to do that much video at that time in 2011. And so we would just put audio and put pictures over the audio itself. Nobody was really doing podcasts on YouTube. And then in 2012, when we started a Toad Hop, we started to get the video from them because Heidi and Frank had done so much with their technology and knew how to do it. But we didn't start really venturing into video or being able to really put video on the for podcasts until 2014 when Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos let us into their studios to do it. And again, we were one of the first kind of people to really start doing that with video. So YouTube is now, I mean, everybody puts on YouTube, but with ads, monetization on YouTube has gotten significantly better. But if there are deals, and very similar to what I was talking about with fights and everything too, if there's ways for you to get deals that are going to benefit and more people are going to see your show, the question is, how oversaturated is it going to be? That's the question. Okay. Keeping it going. Let's see. Okay. Dingus McNally. Harloff, what's your favorite place you've ever traveled to, and where would you like to visit next? Another traveling question. I like that. My favorite place is Maui. I love Maui. I've been there twice. I love that. I just told my wife the other day, she said, we're not going back to Maui. We're going to Europe next. I go, I know. But I love Maui. Love Maui. So I would like to go to Italy. That's where I really would love to go. Mads 2614. Thoughts on the Spider-Man versus Doomsday promotions? I don't know what the promotions are. I haven't seen them. I'm sorry. Mr. ND Fanatic. Does CGI muzzle flares and gunshots in movies ruin for you? I don't even notice them. I prefer practical effects and squibs. That's why John Wick was kind of ruined for me later. It's the same thing. I think it's because of me. I think I've told this story famously where I said to my wife, I go, honey, that's a great thing right there. How long's that been hanging in the house? She's like 3 years or 6 years, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, I don't pay attention to that kind of shit. Justin Bishop, for your show, when you're finally making it, would you consider an opening casting call of your audience for like background or extras? So again, Justin, I can't speak too much about that, but there are a lot of different options and things that we're going to be doing with the progression of how this show is made. That's all I can say right now about it, because I don't want to say anything, promise anything, but there's things that are going to be considered. I can just say that. But it's a great question. Thank you very much. All right, next question after that. Okay, let's see. Are there any more? I'm going to refresh it. And if we refresh, is there anything else? If not, we'll get to the super chats. Yes, there are. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Red Carpet Talk. Yesterday, I let Mike and Roxy with a potential question in my super chat. Funny question. A penny for your thoughts. Serious question. What genre, fandoms, or hobbies interest her? Well, this is for the super chat stuff, but I saw it yesterday. Yes, I did see that. I did see that in super chat. Side note, I know 6 workers. Oh, I love that I saw you post this yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. Look, the adult entertainment industry is part of pop culture. Pun not intended. So it's one of these things where, you look at what I'm very curious about with her, and where I'm going to go with 100% is the social media aspect, because, and this is I'm going to be repeating myself here, because the way I'm going to open it is, you look at the way that business has changed dramatically. You look at the 70s when it was film and people would go to theaters and check it out, and they were like, okay, you would try to get into that business in general that way. Then the progression of the VHS tape, which they thought, oh my God, this is it. This is the big explosion of how this is going to be. This is the future of the business. And it was for a bit, until then DVDs came. But like anything else, where social media has probably turned that business upside down in good and bad ways. So I absolutely want to discuss that with her and see what the progression of social media has done for that business. Very curious. Yeah, as far as treating like a human, I mean, I think that's, unfortunately, I understand what you're saying. That people just see, because of that job, they even when you see adult film stars post opinions on anything, because I do feel, look, I hate social media. You guys know that. But I would much rather see someone, if they're going to post their political opinion on their regular Twitter accounts or anything too, as opposed to like award shows, that's where it should be. It's like you're choosing to follow them. You don't have to follow them, but you can't tell them not to post things there. And when they say things like, oh, shut up and, do what you do best and don't, it's just people like not being able to have conversations and just not like, yeah, okay, maybe you see that business in a particular way, in the way that society has kind of told you to see it, right? Or see those people. But I don't think that's the right way to look at it. That's it. Sherlock, why are we at a place where if we don't like certain movies, we get attacked and branded either racist or sexist? Dude, that's been going on forever. It's been going on forever. But like, because unfortunately, right around the time, like 2016 or so, movies became, and I don't, and I always preface this because I always get the same answer. They've always been politicized. Yes, movies always have political themes and thus too, but the fan bases became almost like weaponized, and it became a political thing, left versus right in movies. If you really love stuff, then you're a left wing chill. If you don't like something, then you're a right wing hater. And I'm not saying that there's both, that those two things don't exist. They certainly do. But you cannot like something and it doesn't mean that you're lumped in with someone who just hates everything. You can think something is going to look decent, but it doesn't mean that you just love everything because you're paid to. But you can't win. And so I don't know. You just got to try to turn your head away from it and just do your own thing, because it gets frustrating on both sides of it, to be honest. Okay. Dick Smoker. Can you ever show the footage of the fifth wheel? What was your experience like on that show? Also, did you ever do Blind Date? I did not do Blind Date. I don't even know where it exists, that episode of Fifth Wheel. I don't even know where it exists. I think it's on a VHS tape somewhere. I had a good experience on it. I mean, I won. But I probably wouldn't want to watch it now. Wouldn't want my wife to watch it. But it was I was a fucking horn dog when I was 25 years old, 26 years old. And then, but I actually wound up going out with that girl that I went with a few different times. She was really nice. It was Gabby. She was nice. I liked her. Didn't work out, obviously, and for good reason. Got a beautiful wife and 2 kids. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where it is. No clue. So definitely I got turned away by one of the girls too. I'll say that. There were 3. And one of them, not enough. It was like, she's like, and it was a whole thing, but she was like, what happened? I can't remember the whole thing. Anyway, it was a very funny episode. I don't know what the hell, but no, I was on that, and I was on a show called Tail Daters when I first got out to LA. Tail Daters, the two dating shows I was on when I first got to LA. Okay. Let's see. Next one after that. Where is it? I'm looking. Lots of great questions here, guys. Can you ever show the footage? Okay. Ryan Fenley, 37. If Star Wars can ever get back to the hype of the Force Awakens Rogan era, would you ever consider doing an OG Jedi Council reunion? No. And I think it's just because of where I was. I really, and I know, and not the people I worked with. I always want to make sure that people know this. If I could erase anything from my working past, it has nothing to do with the people I worked with, because I really love the people. If you could erase people you worked with, would you? No. But if I could erase shows that I did, I would never done Jedi Council. I would have never, maybe Jedi Council for like the first year. First year I would have done it. It was fun. When it was me, John, and we were doing in the beginning, it was fun. Leading to Force Awakens and afterwards, that was fun. But then after that, I said, let's do it for a year, and then that's it. Clyde Alive, never would have done it. I would have, like I said, I would have just done the one-on-one with Harloff, kept doing the Schmoes No live show for a bit. I wouldn't have changed certain things on Schmoes No, but again, hindsight. But no, I wouldn't want anything to do with Jedi Council. Thank you, though. Okay, let's see. Next one after that. Where is it? I'm looking. Okay. Ryan Fenley, what's your favorite Schmodown moment of all time? I can't just pick one. I'll pick one that I loved. The 5 Horsemen moment to this day is still, if you've never seen it, you should. It's still one of my favorite moments because everything came together really well. It really showed me the kind of professional that Andrew Guy was. I've talked about this because Andrew and I got into a heated argument in the afterwards where there was a moment that was happening on stage where there's John Carlo standing. I couldn't hear him because the mics weren't great, and I couldn't hear him. And they said John Carlo Stanton for the answer. It was Esposito. He said Stanton. That's the wrong answer. And so right away it's like, no, that's incorrect. Moving on. But I said what? And because of it, Andrew's like, well, no, you said what? And I was like, well, we got to rule against it. And we even wound up giving them an extra thing. Whatever. Shire Wolves wound up winning. So Andrew was heated about it. But he was really heated about it. And I remember thinking to myself, this guy's fucking pissed off now, because I've dealt with people like this inside of the Schmodown, no names, that you're like, okay, they're pissed off now. They're not going to do what they're supposed to do here. This is going to be a fucking problem. The moment's going to be ruined, and we had this whole thing set up because we had this whole thing set up, win or lose, what Andrew Guy was supposed to do to set up this whole thing with Horseman. He didn't waver from it. He stuck exactly to it. I made sure because I said at one point, I said, because when we were moving to it, I said, when Dan comes out, because at first he was giving him shit. I go, you got to be scared, because if you're not scared of him, it doesn't lead up to what we want to do here. If you're just like, oh yeah, then it doesn't show the aura of Dan Murrell. And he got it right away in the practice when we were doing it. And I was like, okay, he's not going to listen to me, and he's going to be, he's going to be a dick to Dan. He's not going to listen. He stuck to every single thing that we did. He improvised a couple things that were brilliant, and he really set that moment up. Genius. Like, he set it up really, really well. And Ben did a really good job too. And then when they came out, it just worked. It was great. It was great. So that's probably my favorite moment. Okay. Next one after that. Let's see. Dick Smoker. How old were you the first time you went to the movies the first time? I think it was like 2. My dad took me when I was 2. I don't remember it. I think my dad took me when I was 2. Dick Smoker, what's your favorite pizza place in New York and LA? I'll tell you my favorite pizza place right now I'll give you Long Island, is probably Talia's, with Dario's being a close second. And LA, LA, I would probably say, which one? I don't mind. Like Joe's in Beverly Hills isn't bad. And then Pizza Wagon in Brooklyn's pretty good too in LA. Mladen Kulik, why are we not seeing reactions with you and Tina? So Tina gave me her avails, and I have to get back to her. It's on my list to do today, trying to get it in March. But I'm trying to find things for everybody, for Tina and Ming and Steph and Winston. I'm trying to find things that you guys are going to click on, because I'm going to finish John Wick with Tina and see if that works. Sam's got Game of Thrones, and she's going to do Harry Potter and Star Wars. Everything. And everybody knows everyone's clicking on Sam's video. Got to get you guys to click on the other ones. So that's what we're doing. All right, let me see. I'm going to try to refresh. I'll refresh it, see if there's anything else on this one. If not, we'll get to your super chats. Okay, there's 3 more in here. So let's do 3 more, and then we'll move to the super chats. 21 in there so far right now. Okay, so let's see. Here it is. Mosley, 1768, just started reading the Darth Bane trilogy. If you had to choose a series on Darth Bane or a series on Darth Plagueis, Bane. I love the Plagueis novel. I think it's great. But you're still dealing with legacy characters, and it eventually leads into episode 1, which doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Could be great. But if you started Bane, you could really build out that era of the Old Republic and show how the rule of 2 started. I mean, and it's written so well, and you could get Drew Carpathian to come in and I mean, I would, that would be the thing. I'd be pitching that thing every day if I was in the creative room. Ryan, finally, were you ever actually close to getting Boyega on Jedi Council? Yeah. So if you've seen that video, I walked in, I did the press junket when I was working for Fandango, but I was still working with Collider at the time. I was working for both. But I walked into the Force Awakens. Fandango got me the Force Awakens junket, and I walked in, and Boyega, we sat down. Boyega goes, "Wait, before we start, I want to start this interview." I said, "Go ahead." And he goes, "I want to let you know that I'm a big fan of AMC Movie Talk." And I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I watch it all the time." And so we started talking about, I was like, "Look, I want to get you on Jedi Council." He's like, "I'll come on it for sure." And then when we stopped filming, I said, "Dude, you got to really come on." He's like, "I will, 100%. And we reached out, didn't work. Saw him at the premiere. He gave me the what's up. He was busy as shit, and then never happened. So, and then now he doesn't ever want to talk about. He doesn't want to talk about Star Wars. But I'd love to have a conversation with that guy. He was cool as shit. He was one of my. All the interviews I did that day were great, and they were all really, really nice. Daisy really was sick that day, but they were all really nice. My 2 favorite interviews were Boyega and Gwendolyn Christie. Gwendolyn Christie was wonderful. She was so nice. Really liked her a lot. I liked all of them, but those two were the ones that stood out. Okay. Is that everything? Perhaps. We did that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to refresh it once, and we'll get to Super Chats. I'll refresh it one more time, and we'll see. Oh, two more. Haskell. Yo, man, I just retweeted to you the new first official trailer for Mortal Kombat 2 live reaction. Also, Metallica is playing the Sphere in Las Vegas residency October. I feel like somebody told me about this. I know you'll be front row headbanging. I won't be there, but I'm sure Ellis will be. But I've heard about that, and that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Saul Show. If the Schmodown was a completely scripted work, what would have been major Austin Rock-like rivalries? Who would have been pushed more? This is a great question. P.S. They packed the end of Skeleton Crew with a lot of lore that will be part of this big-time period going forward. Is there more there? Hold on. Let's see. It's worth watching for that alone. I don't know. Maybe eventually. I just was so bored. I was just bored by that show. I was like, I wasn't interested. So yeah, live action Mortal Kombat. Well, let's see how it is. Interested, but I'm not like, I don't think I'm gonna do a trailer reaction to it. Okay, so I loved Saul's question there because this would be, and definitely sometimes people thought that Showdown was fixed. The matches were never fixed because a lot of things would have happened. First of all, Guy wouldn't have beaten Dan. That Dan would have played Sam when they were both, their prime at that point. And it would have been Sam versus Dan in the in a live event. And it would, when Sam still had the title the first time before he retired, that would have been a huge thing. I would have had, Roca probably would have held on to the title a little longer than losing in his first defense against Riley. Definitely would have had him do a couple more to lead to another rematch with Dan and do a live event there for that. Wouldn't have had the Patriots lose to Above the Line. They would have gone 10-0 for sure, and then built up another super team. And Shire Wolves would have had it a lot longer. So Corruption would have had all of the titles. Mike would have won all 3 titles. So yeah, tons of stuff I would have done if I was allowed to, actually fix the things. Andrew Guy would have been a world champion for a long time. I would have absolutely pushed Andrew Guy to the moon if that's what it was. Andrew Guy would have been a champion for quite a bit. Probably would have lost that match to Dan and then won a match against Dan later. Andrew Guy was, especially when we turned him face for a bit, he was supposed to be like my rock because he was the guy that the audience hated so much as a bad guy that they started to love him because he was so bad as a bad guy. So he did what Austin and The Rock did. So, yeah, tons of people I would have pushed. I would have pushed your ass for sure. I definitely would push Saul. Saul's one of the strongest fucking dudes I have ever come across in my life, by the way. I don't know if I've told you guys this. So there's a moment with Saul where Saul got pissed off about the turn in, and I think it was the Dan verse when we turned Dan heel, and Saul went nuts. And the goal was, and Saul's a worker, so he knows, he's like, Saul was to push forward, and I had to hold him, and I had to hold Saul. That dude, it was like holding back the Big Show. I couldn't believe how strong the little fucker was. I was like, holy shit, this is a strong dude. I think Saul was one of the strongest people in the show. I couldn't believe it. It was like I was like trying to push like a boulder. I'm like 6 foot, so I can, it doesn't necessarily mean anything being taller, but I wasn't working out at the time, but still, it was like I couldn't believe it. I remember telling Alice, I'm like, that dude's a strong dude. So I wouldn't bet against Saul. Okay, let's see. Anything else there? I think that's it for those questions. We'll get to the super chats in just a moment. But I'm gonna refresh this one more time, and then I'm gonna be done with this. 2 more. Okay. Dwight Love 926. Are you planning on going on any shows to help promoting the pilot when it's time? Yes, and thank you for asking. So Luke asked me this yesterday, time permitting and everything too. Campy already told me that I can go on and promote over there. I'm going to reach out to Bert. I'm going to see if I can get on a Bert show and see if I can do that. But yes, absolutely, we'll be doing that for sure. Once the campaign has been launched, I'll be looking into doing that and seeing what I could do for sure. But yeah, thank you for 100%. Yeah, got to push that out there, because what I'm working against, like the positive and the negative here, just I literally were talking about this on the call yesterday. The positive is that with Chris Stuckman, Markiplier, there's another YouTuber making movies, and they have kind of started to pave the way as far as what YouTubers can do with their audience and what the audience really wants to do, and support that they will to make sure that the creators get things done. And all three of them are doing movies. I want to be one of the first, if not the first, one to really do it in this grand scale kind of television side. I know people have made television pilots, but where we're going and the things that we're doing and the people we're working with, we're going to try to actually do it as if it's a network pilot. My goal is that you guys want to buck against the system the same way that we do, and the same way that those three people bucked against the system and said, no, you don't get to decide what gets greenlit networks. We do. We're going to make this. And my goal is that we hit our goal, what we need to hit on day one. But I'll be promoting it everywhere that I can. So, anyway. Okay. Let's see. Next one, or maybe last one for now on this one until we get to that. Husker for Life. Hey, Kristen, have you heard of the new movie on Prime called The Bluff? It's basically Die Hard with pirates, and Carl Urban is a bad guy in it. No, I haven't heard about that. Is it any good? I haven't heard of it. Okay. All right, that's it for the questions on the Q&A portion of things. Thank you so much. It was really, really nice. Oh, shit, we did an hour and 31 minutes just on that. So now we're going to get to all your super chats. Thank you. Let's get into it. Let's start. We got 23. Let's do 23. I don't think we can do 106, but hey, who knows? All right. Here we go. He-Man creator Roger Sweet has dementia. Oh, no. His wife set up GoFundMe to help the cost for his care if anyone's else helping out. Thank you, Johnny, for letting us know that. Please, yeah, we'll probably double check that for sure. Man, that's great. Great avatar, by the way. GoPal. Probably tied up with work today, but I'm sorry to miss what I hope will be one of those shows. No, I think it was a little bit more. I think it was more subdued. It was more subdued today, but it was good. I like going into those kind of stories and stuff too every once in a while. GoPal. Watched the first 3 out of 4 of Excalibur last night before getting called into work. I almost forgotten every UK Irish actor of that group is in it. I haven't seen that movie. Never seen it. I know people love it. GoPal. Helen Mirren, Liam Neeson, Patrick Stewart, Gabriel Byrne, Kieran Hines, all in Excalibur. That's crazy. I'm surprised they haven't done a remake of it. I know they were talking about it for sure. Corn Emperor, how did yesterday's phone call go? It went great. And I mean, if people have been following me enough from the Schmodown, know that it takes every bit of me to not tell you everything. I want to tell you, I want you to be as excited as I am, but I also don't want to take away from the excitement when it's time, because I want you to all be excited for it. I want, like I said, we're going to set a goal, and I always tell people, especially in this, right, and to let people know in general, the goal of where we need to go, and everything will be explained when it's time. But just take into reference, like let me ask you guys in the comments right now, how much you think, like, if you were going to do a pilot on, we'll say Netflix or Hulu, and you're going to do a pilot, and you're going to have 2 unknowns in the cast, but you're going to surround them with known actors, and you're going to get a crew, and you're going to get a director and everything. That, how much do you think a pilot normally would cost? I'm curious to see what people would say, and I want to see if everybody has like an idea, and where, when we have to have these conversations, what that looks like, so people are aware of it. Because I'm not making a grasping at straws. Grasping at straws was $3 million is a very, very expensive pilot, but that depends on. But no, that's not. I mean, no, but yes, someone You guys are getting no, it's not definitely not 75,000 people. No, people are right when it's like the Bear was 1.1. Just to give an example, but yes, in the depending on where it is, that's you guys are most of you. Yeah, depends on the platform. So you guys, most of you are realistic in what it looks like. So we're playing in a conversation here with people who really know this business of saying, okay, let's look at what is realistic, how we're going to make this work, what we're going to do, and how we can make it work all the way through. So now you guys kind of get an understanding of what we're looking at. But we got a lot to discuss, so we'll all make it work. Okay. Ray Dominguez, support. Thank you, Ray. B. Caber or Christian, please look up the Kim Jong AI song. You won't be disappointed. I can only imagine. Big Black fan. No reviews for Scream 7 is bad news. No, not at all. The when does it come out? Does it come out this weekend? The screening is tonight. I think the embargo drops, the social drops tonight. So I don't know. I don't know if it's bad news yet. I'm bummed that I can't see it tonight. I'm really bummed that I can't see it tonight. Argo, for the big Game of Thrones battle in season 6, will you be turning up the brightness on the TV when you and Sam do the reaction? I forgot about that. Or will you let her have the same experience others had? Think it was too dark. I'm going to let her have the same experience. 100%. Wiley, OFC. Got a job interview in 30 minutes. Wish me luck. Good luck, Wiley. Right. Wiley. Say Riley. Good luck, my friend. I'm rooting for you. Arago. Yeah, man. So this season 6, I mean, look, just the journey alone going with her on this has been amazing. It's been amazing. Someone guessed 250,000. No, I wish 250,000. That would be nice. It'd be a lot easier goal to try to have. For the big GOT battle of season 6, will you be turning Brenda's data? So yeah, again, like I said, I think that to go on this journey with her and the experience that we did, it's just been so much fun to do. I love it. Okay, next one. Rope 6591. Should theatrical films like Scream 7 be delayed until after effects of the winter storm are sorted out? I think it's not that easy because they already put the money into it and everything too. I think that the storms are starting to subside a little bit by that point, but it is going to affect me getting in there to see it tonight. So maybe that's just review wise. Arago, speaking of Heat, I found a copy of it on Laserdisc. That's so great at a local vintage store. What a great find that was. Love watching movies in their older format. They look better sometimes when they remaster them. Yeah, there is some kind of pure quality about that, huh? Yeah, it's true. That's pretty great. That's pretty great that you found that. I love that. Dust Wayne, I know you don't play games much anymore, but are you going to play GT6? I feel like it's going to take over the world more than Avengers Doomsday, but who knows? I might. I very well might, because I think it is going to be a big. I'd be pretty hilarious to do like a watch along. I don't know that. I don't even know how I would do that. I probably could have Val or somebody set that up for me, but I would love to do that. Back to Arago. Thank you, Arago. Very kind of you. Very nice. Thank you. From some of the current long franchise sequels like Scream and Jurassic Park, at one point did they stop doing sequels and just reboot them? You think they'll go as high as Fast and Furious sequels? This is a very similar conversation that I had with Roka the other day, right? It just depends on how much these movies make. You can diminish a little bit on overall returns, but at what point do you get close to just breaking even when you if a movie costs, if you need to make $500 million on a movie and it makes, and your last movie made $1 billion, and then the next one does 800 million, you still give it a shot. You still give it a shot to do another one. And the next one to 700. Should we give it a shot? I don't know. We're playing a little risky here because we could lose money again unless people are really interested. And then the next one to 600. Like maybe we stop, or if we want to do something fresh with it, we reboot it or something else too. But you gotta play with it. Like Fast and Furious, they're already up to or not Fast and Furious, Jurassic Park, you're already up to 800, 900 million on that last one. You take another shot at it. If it diminishes again, because the last couple before that were in the billions, if it diminishes again, then you kind of play into what I was just saying. Fast and the Furious made almost $1 billion, but it needed to make like 1.5 or something in order to be profitable. It was like $400 million to make. It was so stupid. It was so stupid with the way that they did that. It was so stupid. For the $350 million to make that last movie was a crime. Victor Garrity, do you ever listen to Tom DeLonge, what he says about UAP? Yeah, it's wild stuff, but just enough to kind of believe it. He talked about a lot of different things that were coming out. Like, there's a lot of stuff that he said that actually came to fruition, and not that all of it is. There's a lot of crazy shit that he said that not necessarily isn't true, but it's so crazy you can't even wrap your brain around it. But he seems to know a lot of shit. Mad Dog, any news on Spider-Man trailer? I'm not the guy to ask. But I'm sure it's coming soon. I don't really pay attention this much to it, you know. The way it works for me, I'm not actively looking for scoops. If someone, like, there was a few, like the Embo thing, when that came to me, I was like, yeah. I asked the person, I was like, you mind if I talk about it on the show? And they're like, go for it. So I've had things fall in my lap, but this, I don't actively go looking, so I don't know when the trailer is actually coming out. Victor Garrity, sorry, my internet connected to Mike's Wi-Fi when I was writing. Was why it looked like an epileptic balloon wrote it. Anyway, he has the bug. He's good, man. He's a little he's a little stinker. Today, I let him out in the morning. I dug him a little place where he could go to the bathroom, and he peed and he came back because it was snowing. And so he looked up I saw him. He looked up for a second, then he ran back out. I'm like, what? You realize he had to take a shit? And it's exactly what happened. He realized it halfway through. He's like, I'm not done yet. Israel Zerg, not watching live. I hope to get tickets for OP season 2, One Piece. Yeah, enjoy that. I'm excited to hear about it for sure. New member, Morgan Coulter became a new member. I love it. Good time to be a member. A lot of great stuff. Look at that picture. That'll tell you it all. Ryan's 4050. You moved back to New York, started working out, and decided to go for it with your pilot. Was there something you drove your self-actualizing journey? A lot of different things. One, health-wise, is the biggest thing for me for when it came to working out. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've been talking about it. And I give a lot of people credit, but I give Chris Van Vliet a lot of credit for this one too. I remember he came into my old studio and I said to him, I got to start working out. He said, why don't you? I was like, I don't have the time. He goes, you have the time. You don't tell me that. You have the time. So if you want to do it, you have the time. You have the time. And he was right. I had the time. I had to find the time. So yeah, that was something I always wanted to do, and it also mentally just made me feel a lot better. I've talked about it since I started this channel. The happiest I've ever been in the space. Even more so when I started kind of mentally getting myself in shape, through getting in shape physically. As far as going with the pilot, it's weird, man. Because and Martini and I talk about this all the time. We have been linked for a long time, and it's kind of one of the interesting things about this story. As I told you before, she was the whole reason that Schmoes Know happened. She was the reason why any Schmoes Know live show, Schmodown, it all really started with her. She was the one that put us together to do it, right? To help me come up with the name of Schmoes Know, these other things too. She had negotiated and worked with us. We were supposed to have a Rotten Tomatoes pilot before we started our YouTube channel, right? I introduced her to her husband. Right. And we worked on other things with her. We continue to do stuff. The funny thing, I don't know if I talked about this yet. The Grasping at Straws pilot that I wrote, or I put on the air that you could see actually on the channel right now. Eliza Schlesinger played a character named Marley. The character was written for Martini. She moved to San Francisco, and I had to open cast it, and I knew Eliza pretty well at that time, and I had her and other people come in and read, and Eliza was just so good at it. Eliza was incredible in that role. She was just incredible. But I was written for Martini. She was supposed to do that back then. So the script and the idea, I had the idea when because Bonnie had come on the show, on the Schmoes Know show, and there was this idea that I thought of like the kind of War of the Roses on the air and those types of things, and it kind of evolved to what it was supposed to be with. And we were supposed to do it with Bonnie at one point, and then it wasn't getting there. And then I had I know that we had Sasha Pearl Raver had written a draft, and the two of us were kind of working on it. We didn't really it didn't work out that way. So I'm like, okay. I put it to bed. I was like, it just sat there. And that was like 2014. We were going to do it for Schmoes. And then it just sat there. And I had this idea. And then when Martini, we had lunch together. And I sent her the draft that I did of it. And she said, this, we could do something with this. So we just gutted the whole draft. We just gutted it. We took it from we didn't even work on a draft. We took it and we said, all right, let's just take these characters, and we changed the whole story. We changed everything together. We worked on it for about a year, something like that, and then that led into getting to a place where like this script really, we're confident with this, and that's kind of how it happened. So, okay, let's see, what's the next one? RQM DSMD, thanks for answering my question. Thanks for asking it. Michael D, question for Penny: is there a career that you want to pursue post the current one now? Something you always wanted to do before you took up the adult industry, but for reasons you had to place on the back burner? Much love. It's a great question. Again, I'm going to try my damnedest to get to as many as I can, but that's a great question. Abernathy, trance suggestion for the morning routine. Mask Off by Ganja. Wait, no, I always take suggestions for a new trance. Do that. Put that over here. I just screenshotted it. Thank you. I love it really does help me write. Michael D, music suggestions. Some more. Okay, a lot of suggestions here. Thank you so much, Michael D. Put some more there. Look at this. So you got Chicane and BT for some EDM trance. Also check out Hybrid. They've done some movie scores and even worked with Harry Gregson Williams. Great. Love that. Sean. What's up, Sean? I think we'll have to. Oh, we did that one. We did this one. Then you put it in there too. That was very nice, you, Sean. You didn't have to do that. I think we'll have to ski up. No, I'm telling you, it's going to clear. It's going to clear next week. We're going to be good. Justin Bishop. GTA V made $1 billion in only 3 days. GTA 6 could probably do it in 24 hours. It's because of the hype too. It's going to make a lot of money. Yeah, it's going to crush. Space Jesus, what's going on with all the injuries in WWE? Has there been? I haven't been paying attention. I'm telling you, I just saw a couple things where I saw AJ Styles got put into Hall of Fame. That's great. I love AJ Styles, so that's great. But I haven't been paying attention as much. Will Coyote became a member. I love that. Last one for now. It's pronounced K. Burley. By the way, first name Brandon. Thank you. B K Burley. First name is Brandon. Thank you. Brandon K. Burley. There we go, Brandon. Brandon K. Burley. Now I know. Thank you. Abella Danger wants to become a talent agent. Will Coyote says, okay. I also that's the question. Is directing? Is that something though too? I don't know. What do you guys? Let's see. I'm gonna try to see if there's any more. No more questions for now. But again, this is really great. And a lot of great questions here today. And thank you guys. I like doing shows like this to where, get to know me a little bit better. People and I think sometimes, look, there's a lot of you guys that have been here. I've seen since Toad Hop days. There's brand new people that have been here. You know what? Let's do that. If anybody else has any more questions, please ask them. Stick around for a little bit. But I want to know this in the comment section. Here's Sean. I got another one. Snow's going nowhere. Sent you an IG. Name you First Ranger. Thank you, Sean. That's very nice of you. That's crazy. I have to look at the DM. But it's going somewhere. I'm telling you, it's the weather's coming in, and tomorrow's going to be shit snow, and then it's going to get washed away. Okay. So here's what I want to do. Let me know how you found this channel. Did you find it from a reaction? Did you find it from old school days? Now, granted, this is the Wednesday show is like the regulars hangout. This is like Cheers. I realize that Wednesday is like Cheers. This is where the regulars come. The casuals don't see a topic that they know or they care about, so they don't stop in. Wednesday's Cheers. I get it. So I want to know where the regulars found this. Was it Ryan became a new member? Thank you, Ryan. Did you find it from the old school days? Did you find it from a reaction? Because sometimes I want to know like how people transferred over. So Christian said he found me following Koi. I found you from Collider Live because I love talk radio. Started watching you during the AMC days. Okay, followed up here. Will Coyote, what if Disney transferred Lucasfilm and X-Men transferred back to 20th Century Studios? Would fans enjoy those franchises better? No, it's creative team. It's got to be a creative team. So I'm not. It depends on who's running it. It's not. It's one. I always use the example when people say like, Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is the worst. Disney ruins Star Wars. No one gives Disney credit when Endgame was one of the biggest movies ever. Everybody loved Endgame. No one gives Disney credit. They give Marvel and Kevin Feige credit. Civil War, All those movies that were successful, no one ever gives Disney credit. Rogue One, Disney. Don't give Disney credit. Um, so it's Disney's the corporate part of it. It's the creative team that needs to shift. Okay. Yes, the Cheers reference is a very good thing. So let's see. Collider Live, Star Wars Schmodown, old reviews, Schmodown, movie talk, found you during COVID, Roxy, Can't Be Alive chats. Can't Be Alive chats. How did Can't Be me going into the live chat? That's interesting. The AMC days. Ryan, how are you feeling about getting back into acting? That's a great question. I actually had a dream last night about that I was talking to Adam Sandler about connecting into dramatic roles and how he did it and the commitment to it. So the role itself, I feel very confident about because I've written the role to my strengths, and that's the benefit that I have of doing this role is that it's not one of these things where and my wife doesn't believe me, but let's say in a dream world, this show does very well, and then I get offered something else, I wouldn't do it. I don't want to be like a pursuing going after new characters. This role, I want to tell this story, and I know how to speak as this guy, and I know how to do things as this guy. I know the way that he thinks. I know the way that he looks at things. I know the stupid things he does. I know the good things that he does, and so I'm excited to approach him and introduce him because I know who he is. Sean McCabe, Schmodown days, movie talk about 10 years ago. Schmoes Know, AMC movie talk OG since watching Schmoes Know. Found you at this point through YouTube algorithm and watching live work since. I love that. Schmodown then caught up with the whole universe on Schmoes, reactions, Acolyte reviews. I was watching AMC Collider, then stopped watching Collider, then found you randomly one day, thought you were still a Collider, glad you escaped. I think I told this story recently. And I had an opportunity to go to Skybound a year earlier, and in hindsight, I should have done that. Sam Renzi, I've been watching since Movie Talk since 2015. The Real D5 solo tennis breakfast talk about Star Wars. That was the mistake. Ryan's 4050. I don't remember how I found you, but I think an interview was first. It's great. 2012 is when I started following. I used to subscribe to Campy, and one day YouTube suggested your show. Schmoes Know. A lot of old school people in the Cheers. That doesn't surprise me that the Cheers crew is a lot of old school stuff. Someone in the chat mentioned you, and I decided to check you out. That's cool. I love that. That's great. Good advertising. Armada 8YT recommended Joey Valance and Bray. They are modern day Beastie Boys. Pretty funny too. Thank you. Let me know. That's great. Thank you for letting me know. I know this is great. I know. I'm looking. I'm fingers crossed. Okay. Alex, I think my YouTube algorithm knew there was a screen junkie says hello my life, and you just started appearing in my feed. That's great. I love hearing that. And I hope more, and that's kind of the goal of what we're trying to do with the shorts too, is to put those out there and show more comedic moments and just not just the movie news and kind of more personality stuff. Like we posted today, that moment that I have with Roxy a year or two where she was talking about the guy she's dating at the time. And I said, she said he had a communication problem, so he posted that. Yeah, it was pretty good. Ryan Fumilari, describe you to wife as Howard Stern, who talks about shit I love. That's very nice. What a compliment that is. You moved back to New York, having on PB, getting closer and closer to actually being HS. Ryan, this is the greatest comment ever, but I got it. I'm old, man. What's the abbreviations? Thanks for being a great part of our everyday routine. I love that. And it's really nice. Howard Stern was one of the guys that I absolutely, that was the thing. That's what Schmoes was kind of based off of, was the Howard Stern show for movies, right? So that's very kind of you that you give me that. Having on PB. Guys, tell me what PB is, because I'm an idiot. And then getting closer and closer to actually being HS. So what's PB and HS? And then I'm going to do the dope because I should have known that. But very, very, very kind. So if there's anything, by the way, too, that you guys do have in regards to the show itself, because I love talking about it. I love getting excited about it and getting you guys hyped about it. And it's one of these things where we're looking at as we're going through kind of like the tiers and the things we want to do is that, and I'm looking and I'm saying, ooh, if we get people excited about that, because I feel like they will, and everybody who's like, I normally don't do that, I wouldn't want to do that, but I want to see this thing get made. And everybody, even everybody here today that watches this now and watches on a replay, if everybody donates, we can make the show soon. Oh, there you go. Thank you. So it was Penny Barber. Thank you. Okay, let's do that again. You move back to New York, having on Penny Barber, getting closer and closer to actually being HS. Now, what's HS, guys? What's HS? You guys know what HS is? Actually, describe you that one. You move back to New York, having on Penny Barber, getting closer and closer to actually being HS. What's HS? Oh, Howard Stern. See, as he says it right there. So now let's read it after we've decoded. It's like fucking Ralphie from with the Ovaltine message. Describe your wife. Described you to my wife as Howard Stern, who talks about shit I love. You move back to New York, having on Penny Barber, you're getting closer and closer to actually being Howard Stern. Thank you for being part of our everyday routine. Nailed it. Nailed it. Hey now. Armada. Does Mance know Penny is coming on? I'm sure he does, but he'll never tell us. That is absolutely hilarious. It took me that long to figure that out. Anyway. All right. Well, if anybody else, I'm gonna refresh this other thing too and see. There's 3 more questions on the other one. I like talking to you guys today. I like talking to you. You're asking good questions. Take a boom. Came at YouTube. Everything. Thank you, man. Awesome. I love how many new members. Is amazing. So many great members. Armada 8YT. Farside versus digital planets. I like digital planets myself. I like Farside also though. It's good though. Wednesdays are for chatting, goofing, and venting, says Ryan. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I want to start messing with on the show. Monday is like really with me and Roka has been the talk radio type of movie news show, right? Tuesday is life stuff, other things with me, Roxy, TV stuff, Roxy and Mike, and it can go anywhere, and I just let it go. Wednesday are these solo shows, and now Kevin Smets will be on, and we'll talk about a bunch of other things and ask questions and maybe open up to like mailbag stuff and everything too, which will be great. Thursday is me and Steph. I got to find kind of what the rhythm is there. And then Friday with Capes, I might want to just turn it into another episode, Kristian Harloff's show with some heavy, comic book stuff. But I don't know. I got to maneuver that one around too. It's just tough because when there's 2 people on, if we don't hit a certain amount, it's like, and they're both so great. Chris and Winston are so great on that show. And I love that we had an opportunity to add Chris to the rotation and Winston for so long. But I got to just make sure because, you pay your hosts a rate. And if you have 2 people on, you got to make that rate plus more. It's the same thing we were just talking about, like with budget on a movie. You cost this to make it. You hope to make this. And if it doesn't, then you got to look at things. So we're trying to figure that out. Ryan Famulari, 10 out of 10 read. Thank you, Ryan. I nailed it, I think. Okay. Sean, the wife and I have been watching Paradise. Think you'll like it. I think I'll love it. My wife started watching it without me, Sean. It's bullshit. I said to her, why? I want to address something after I talk about this, because I just realized something. This is what happens. I told you guys about it before, like the 2, the trolls playing pickleball in my head. They screamed at me to mention something, and I will. Paradise, I feel like I would love it. My wife started watching it without me. She's done this many times over. She starts watching shows without me, and that's one of them. I'll probably eventually start watching. So there's a thing that's happened to me as I gotten older. You don't see it in the live show as much, but when I'm watching movies, for some reason, when I'm looking, my eyes can only handle the light on it for so long, and I start kind of, and it affects me. There are people who are saying, well, what's going on with his eyes? What's going on with this? Fine. If people are dicks, I have thrown out so many people and muted people and thrown them out for like, oh, I can't take it. The twitching. Fuck off. My eyes. I'm getting older. Something happens. I don't know what it is. Doesn't happen here. Happens when I'm watching TV. Don't know what it is. Not at home. But when I'm watching for the reactions, I can't. There's only so much I can do. Don't like it? Fuck off. That's what they say in certain parts of France. So that's it. Armada. Any chance to visit Corey Coleman's show? He's doing Broadway Comedy Club April. 1,000% I'll reach out to Double Toasted. I love Corey and Martin. Love those guys. Some of the funniest dudes and really, really kind people. Always love hanging out with them. Hung out with them in Houston. Corey used to come in and do the show in LA when he was in town. I love those dudes. I'll absolutely reach out to Double Toasted. But please, if you guys are fans of Double Toasted, please tell them I say hello. I love them. I love them. Derek Johnson, support. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Where's he been? So let's see. By the way, well, I don't know, can I mention that yet? I can't mention that yet. I'm not gonna do that yet. Okay. SLM Chase. One of my favorite early memories is when you did the Star Wars watch-alongs with Campy Schnepp and Ellis before episode 7. Much love for NH. Like, that's another thing. I would have done so much differently now when you're allowed to, right? We would have done like basically the footage, plus then we should have ran a Patreon for Collider back then. We should have done super chats. We didn't do there was a lot of shit that we didn't do back then that I would have done again. So that would be great. That would have been great to do that. But yeah, that was fun to do that for sure. Okay. Paige, I found you on Collider on the Thursday night show. Love the conversation. I won the Quiet Place movie gift set. That's cool. That's really cool. I love that. That's great. I love those giveaways that we did. Those were really cool. Great. That's really great. So Paige, you've been so great on this channel. So I love, that's the other thing that and it took a little bit on this show because, we bounced around. We did Big Thing, and Big Thing was really kind of a pre-tape show. And that's probably one of the reasons why it was a little harder to build a community. I was against doing live again. I just had my fair share of bad moments from live and got nervous about it in general. But then I started sticking my toe back in the water with Roka. Roka and I started doing a live show first, and then that evolved into it, and then evolved into the Kristian Harloff Show. And I'm glad that I did, because it really started to build out that community, that page, and so many different people. You guys started Discord. How many we got in Discord now? Do we get to 200 yet? Come on, let's get to 200. Come on, let's do it. This is great. Somebody found me from the Matt Serra channel. Yeah, Matt. So that whole thing. So Matt and I became friends because he was a fan of Collider, and I talked about on Collider Live that I had bet on his fight against GSP and won a significant amount of money when I bet on him. And he talked about it on his show, on the one he does with Norton on UFC Unfiltered. And then we just became buddies. He used to call in to Collider Live. He did a live show with us for SEN Live in New York. And we would talk on the phone, and I would say, you should be doing your own podcast. And then Rogan had told him around the same time to do his own thing. And I told him, I said, I'm moving back to New York. I told him where I was moving. He's like, it's not very far from me. And then we decided to start working together. And I don't know if I have found a more honorable and good person. Matt Serra is a good dude, and he's so easy to work with. He just wants to do his channel. You can see why. He was a former UFC champion. He says he's going to be there. He's there. Going to get things dedicated. He's there. He wants to build. He's committed. He's there. He's got patience. Love working with Matt Serra. And don't have a negative thing to say about him. I don't have a negative thing to say about Matt Serra. He's an absolutely tremendous human being. I love Matt. Okay, let's see. So thank you again, Paige. Amazing. We got 47 questions, guys. 47 questions. And I'm going to bring up, I think that is there another one? I think there's another question over here. Let's bring this up and let's double check. Let me see. All right, I'm going to refresh it and see. Hold on. Let's see. Question recommendation for the Penny Barber interview. It's actually, let me see how the vibe is, because she doesn't know us. Right? She doesn't know us. So if she plays along and it warms up, I could ask that question. Let me ask you a question, Penny. I need to know. Is eating cheating? This is the best. I won't ask her that question, but if it comes down to maybe. Mike Hudspeth. Hey, Christian, what do you think is more like 2026 will have a bigger box office total than 2019? Ooh. Or 2027 will have a bigger total box office than 2026? Well, with Endgame, ooh, man. Shit. Great question. I got to look at all the releases in 2027, so I'm not sure. That's a great question, Mike. I'll say that I think it's probably 2020. This 2027 will have a bigger box office than 2026 is more likely. Patty Boy, who do you think is the GOAT of individual schmodown? My pick is Drew McWeeny. Drew was great at teams, and I think Drew would even say it. Drew was an incredible knowledge on film and just terrifying. He was kind of like the Undertaker, but individually solo, he couldn't win the big match. In the teams, he was devastating. Dan's the best of all time. What Dan was able to do, and how Dan turned things around, and Dan maneuvered stuff, and Dan was a fighting champion. Dan was, and as far as an individual player goes, Dan was the best, 100%. All right, any more here? I think there's a few more questions. Yes. Hold on. Wait. Yep. Okay. Next one. Ryan S. My wife saw my profile pic and thought I got hacked. Yeah, and look at that mug. Terrible angle I shot myself with. Maddie B. 207. What a Maddie B. Found your channel from an old interview you did with Robert Eiler. Wasn't too old. Oh, no, you didn't say old. I made that up because I'm old. Found your channel from an interview you did with Robert Eiler. It was one of the first things I did at this studio. He sat right there. Been a fan since. Love the eclectic crew of co-hosts during the week, and Sam reactions are fire. She's pretty great. She's another one. Besides just being absolutely hilarious and great at this, just a really great person. So I can tell when someone's calling to texting to check in to make sure everybody's okay. It's Sam. She's a mama bear. She's the best. Eclipse. After you watch One Piece, are you able to do an out of the theater style review? I'm generally curious of how you feel about the more outlandish parts. I think there's an embargo socially. The answer is yes. I just have to find out when that is. But the answer is yes. I just have to figure out when. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? I'm gonna look. Maybe I got some time today, guys. If you want to stick around, let me know. If not, get it. There is another question that came up here. Let me do it. Ryan Fenley, what are you looking to react to next? Would recommend Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Those two shows do crazy numbers. Breaking Bad is a definite. But the question is, because Sam hasn't seen it and Ming hasn't seen it. The potential of doing it with Ming, it's there. But I might want to wait until next year and have Sam do it. I don't know. So right now, Ming's going to be doing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and then Top Gun Maverick. He's never seen it. So we'll do a rewatch of one because he hasn't seen it, he said, in 30 years or something. Tina, I'm going to get to do John Wick. Steph is going to do Ferris Bueller, and then we're going to do the Bourne franchise and Boogie Nights. So we got her for a couple of weeks. We have her figured out. I found out Winston's never seen any of the Rambo movies, so we're going to do First Blood, Rambo's, and he's only seen Rocky 3. So we're going to do all the Rocky movies. So Winston's going to be tied up a little bit. I got to find movies for Chris Carr, and I think I want to start putting Mike in the rotation. So I got to find some stuff there to do. Okay. Digable, been around since AMC Movie Talk, just a lurker since I'm usually working. RIP Schnepp, sweaty for life. Again, one of my favorite humans. We had a great relationship. And one of my favorite moments was when we rode together to Comic-Con together. Me, him, and Holly, we drove to San Diego together. We just cracked up the whole time. He got my sense of humor, and I got his. So that was he was amazing. Okay, Paige 79. I got into the show now because I played and won a movie trivia at a resort in Mexico, and they had TV theme song. Does the pilot have a theme song? So a theme song yet? No. But here's one of the things too. Look, this is the type of when I try to manifest things. My goal is that okay, I tell you guys what our goal is and what we want to hit, and you guys go, you know what? Here's that, and then this, because that allows me to say, hey, we exceeded our goal. Can we get the rights to that song? Yeah, that's like going to want to be the last things on the list, but that's what's kind of like that's my fingers crossed. So I have ideas of what I would like the theme song to be. Okay, let's see. Mike hasn't seen a lot of shit, by the way. People ask what did Mike see. Alex, all right, I was gonna dip out early, but then I saw after saying there was a Screen Junkie size hole in my life, they literally just brought back movie fights. Like, holy shit. Yeah, they did. So I talked to Dan about this too. I did really, really well. The nostalgia side of it too. And I saw that I know that and Spencer and everybody's running too. I want them in the next one. I'm hoping in the next one. I want to see some bells and whistles. And this is me, the Schmodown guy. So I want to see some bells and whistles. I want to see promos. I want to see records. I want to see, give me the old history. People, you could tell people were eating it up and waiting to see. Give me the belt. Show me the old school, like, get into the history of it. Go into the lore of the records and all those other things too. That's what I crave from that stuff too. But it was really great to see them all together again and doing their thing. So, all right. PLD Projects. What's up, PLD? React to The Rock with Ed Harris. I wonder if anybody hasn't seen that. I'm sure. You know what? I don't think Steph has. So maybe remind me. You will remind me that I've told you to. So, Sisu reaction with Mike. Mike has seen it. I have not, but he has seen it. Yoshimitsu, for sure. Sean, Christian, you're the best. No, I'm not. You're the best. Joseph, Ashley, what's up, Joseph? The creator of the Big Balls image himself became a member. Thank you, sir. PLD Projects or the best Cameron Water movie, The Abyss, with Ed Harris. You think anybody knows that you like Ed Harris? We're at 60, guys. Hey, you can stay on a little longer. Can we break Mike and Roxy's record? I got the job. Wiley. Fuck yeah. Look at that. What a show this has been, guys. PLD, final suggestion, Night Falls with Ed Harris. There you go. Was he in it? I don't think he was even in it. All right, I'll refresh again on the other questions. 52. We did it. I got another one over there. Let me see. So here is a question from Saul. So speaking of Matt Serra, when are you going to start rolling? I think you're honestly going to love it. It's one of all the martial arts, I think that BJJ is the most perfect for you. He says the same thing. The first thing I'm going to do before any of that is I'm going to get my oldest. Matt is going to help her first. I just feel like I'm too damn old to do that. My joints are going to give out on me. I'm going to get injured. I'm careful enough when I'm lifting weights. I'm just nervous about it for myself, my old body. But he's been trying to get me in there for like a year and a half now. So I mean, I'd love to. Who doesn't want to get taught by Matt Serra? But I think that's why I'm trying to get my daughter in there. So we'll see. Okay. Anything else? We had a hell of a show here today, guys. I can't really complain about it. Can't complain about it. I'll take. Oh, they got a new one. All right, there's another one. Maybe you don't want to let me go. Maybe you do like it. Sally Field. You do like me. Yoshimitsu. So happy Movie Fights is back. That's where I first found you. Schmodown and this whole thing. Yeah, it was funny because Luke asked me today. I always went and did movie fights, and I was never tailor made for it. I respect the hell of what they did and how they built that, and I loved. And I was never made for it. I was left feeling like I didn't like it. For myself, not watching Dan and those guys. They're masters at it, but like for me, I just didn't like the way that I felt after it. But it's a great show. Great to have them all back, and glad that they're trying it out. So, all right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it very, very much. And this will be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Tomorrow we got Steph. Friday, I'm gonna try my hardest. Friday I'll be on the show. Not try my hardest. I'll be on the show on Friday because I thought Sam's not coming in this week. So, and then tomorrow we will be running. Friday rather, we'll be running episode 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones, and then Saturday we're going to drop 5 and 6. So we should be running 3 Game of Thrones this weekend, or Friday and Saturday, obviously. And that's about it. That's all I got for you. The Penny Barber interview will most likely run next Wednesday. Now, whether or not I'm going to do like a live show like this and then run the interview, I don't know. Or I might just run it on its own. So that's it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And then when we do the live stream, the next live stream for the patrons and members, please join. And the other thing I got to tell you guys, if you are a member, we have so many new members and so many members in general. PLD always posts about for the members and patrons. Even if you can't be there, ask a question. Ask one question. Your question will get answered. You watch it on the replay afterwards. If you're a member, you might as well. And then if you're a $5 member and over, you can join and ask a video question. And you can come say hello to us. So take advantage of that for sure. Please, please, please. Corn Emperor, congratulations on the new job. Look at everybody being supportive. I love that. I don't think we are, though. Someone said we're already caught up to the Real Rejects. I don't think so. Let's see. What's the last one that they did? Real Rejects. Game of Thrones. Let's see. Let me see. I'm looking at theirs. Who's doing it? It's I don't remember the guy's name. I know that it's. Hold on. Do they have in the description it's Tara and Andrew who are doing it? Okay. I don't know Andrew. I know of Tara from. I mean, obviously, from all the stuff she does with Roxy, seems like they both seem like really good people. I don't really know. But I've never spoken to Andrew. So let's see. That's number 1. Let's see where they're at. No, they're at episode 9 and 10 right now. Of you're saying we just caught up to the season? To the season maybe, but they're but you got here's the thing. Craig Alba is one of the hardest working people in the business. They have like 87 different reactions. I literally only have Game of Thrones coming out in general, so it's a lot easier to do when so let's see. Joseph, Penny Barber, do you have to maintain weight to keep fans? I don't know if I'm going to ask that, but keeping in shape in general, we can see that she does. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's not good news. They've had trouble with season 5 copyrights. That's not good news. That means, did you guys react to Far From Home? Yeah, it's on there. All the Spider-Man movies are on there, by the way. We did all the Marvel stuff, and then leading is I made sure that Sam watched all the Spider-Man stuff so she had, the right impact when No Way Home happened. Great. All right. Is there one more? Oh, there's one more here, too. You guys are, I love it. I love shows like this. Keep it coming. Why do you want to end the show? Keep asking questions. Sons of bitches. Since the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is Jeff Kimball. Since the Night of the Seven Kingdoms is over until next season, what's something that interests you in the Game of Thrones universe that you would like to see them do next? So much now. So much. I really want to see more about Robert's Rebellion. I want to learn more about Rhaegar. I want to see... well, I really like where they're going with Night of the Seven Kingdoms because we're going to see a lot more with the Targaryens. And I do want to see follow-up. I want to see a follow-up series with Jon Snow and all that stuff too. So yeah. I would like to continue. Spinoffs are working right now. I would like to see it. No Smurf reactions, says Armada 8YT. Probably not. Has Mike seen Debbie Does Dallas? I'm sure 87 times, says Ryan. I'm sure. The guy's a connoisseur. He would have been the reigning Schmodown champ for sure. All right, let's see. Next one. Danny, 2KR. Too old my ass. You can do it, Christian. Just take it slow and build up over time. I managed to lose 100 pounds over a few years. You'd be surprised what the human body can do. I know. It's one of these things where it's also what I don't want to do is half-ass that, and it's like going in once a week. I mean, it's not, he lives close, but he lives that close. And it's also with screenings and stuff too, but it's potential. Space Jesus. Do you think Deck from Badlands will be the lead in the new AVP? I hope so. After rewatching that with Steph, I really did like that movie. A lot. Sean McCabe, Dexter Saul Enzo deserves an Emmy. He deserves to be nominated. 100%. 100%. He should be nominated. Any more questions from the thing? Nope. More questions here? Nope. So let me ask you guys a question. And this is more so what I do for my Instagram. Because I always get kind of self-conscious about this too, because I talked to Roxy about it. And Roxy has been very encouraging. And I said, like, I like to give updates on the fitness stuff. And so sometimes I'll post pictures, like I posted the workout pictures, but I also want to make sure it's not too much. Think you did it, you showed people you're working out, that's enough, or wait for more progression stuff. Curious what you guys think. We've talked about positive shirts. We've absolutely talked about positive shirts. Yeah, that's some other ones. Fleetle Dadle is another one we thought of too. George R. R. Martin says he's done with Game of Thrones. Sure, and so they put the next boat of the truckload of money in his backyard. Come on. Okay, is that everything? I'm gonna look one more thing before I'm gonna refresh real quick and say, yep, refresh. Sweet. Again, if you guys aren't subscribed to Spotify or you're not following Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything there, please do. We're going to have a lot of updates. And I don't know what the update was on the Discord, how many people we have on the Discord now. Did we get to 200 yet? I hope so. Great community over there. Check it out. So right now we're at 68 questions. Someone else account. We're not going to take them out. So that's okay. That's all right. Thank you for being here. 184. What's 184? They're not at 184. It's 68. What are you talking about? 184. Can you imagine? Yeah, this is a good show. I had fun with you guys today. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Oh, how about this one? Your Instagram game is on point. Good going. We're trying. And I've got a lot of help now. And I posted out here. You know what? I did a picture. I want to make sure that this picture is that I have this picture. I'll do one here because like it has been a year now since I've been working out. And it's been a journey. And it's been a full year now. And I'm really I want to make sure that I have I do. All right. And it really has been a journey. And I give a lot of thanks to Ming and we've been and it's especially with the pilot and everything else coming too, because we've incorporated this now on how we're going to make the character kind of have something too, where is it? Let me make sure. And you guys, and again, if it is inspiring to people, then then that's great. And because like what I will tell people is that you have the time to it. You can get yourselves in shape and it real mentally will, if you're in a spot, go to the gym, take a walk, do some stuff. It'll make you feel good. It really, really will. All right. So again, I'm only posting this because you guys have been supportive here too. So then this is from earlier today. So you see my stupid face, but again, like I never had a chest, so I finally have a chest, or at least starting to get one. And that's just working out, and I'm trying to lose my belly fat and everything too. So, yeah, so I'm trying, and I'm working hard, and I thank you guys very much for all your support. Any more? Okay, yeah. Oh, 184 Discord members. Okay, thank you, Michael T. That makes a lot more sense now. Thank you. Armada, ever met Ari Spears? I haven't. I haven't actually. I have not met Ari Spears. Never met him. He's doing a lot with Instagram. So yeah. 185. How do we drop 185? That's great. 185. Amazing. Got 10 extras today. Hopefully we get more. Anyway, again, thanks for this is great. You guys are super supportive and amazing here today, and it was a lot of fun to talk to you all. And that's it. So appreciate it. Join the Discord today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on the flip side tomorrow with me and Steph. Appreciate it. See you soon. And as always, ask yourselves the most important question of the day each and every day.
Did you shit in there?